Season 2 World Finals begins right now!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official start of the Season 2 World Finals. I am D-Man, and here with me is Jat. And Jat, that was amazing.
That was incredible. That piece we just saw was a collaboration between Hollywood Scoring and Riot Games, and actually, the lyrics in that were a Latin verse for a battle between Demacia and Noxus. So whoever wants to go out and translate that, be our guest, because it is awesome.
And it is that awesome that we're going to allow you to download that. It will be completely available for free, that full score. An absolutely fantastic start. Jat, we are moving into the World Final, and, well, what a season it has been. We started off the preseason at Intel Extreme Masters, Gamescom 2011. Obviously, we traveled across the world with the Intel Extreme Masters. We had IPLs, we've had MLGs, we've had OGNs. 2 seasons, the spring and summer, saw Azubu Frost rise to dominance in that. And really, these teams have traveled the world. They've grown to know each other. What a fantastic season it has been.
And these teams have been through so much. I know Azubu Frost has played to thousands of people before, so I wonder if they're going to be able to live up to the energy in this room, because just sitting here and listening to that music and just watching the energy in here, my heart is just already pounding, and we haven't even started the games yet, so I can only imagine what the players are feeling right now.
I only hope that transmitted just how awesome that was at home, guys, because I've sat and watched that performance probably about 5 times in practice, and I just stayed there every time. It's like, I want to watch this. I watched it in the truck, and then I was like, I want to watch this live. I watched these guys practicing while everybody in this venue, you were snaking around the venue, queuing up. You know, my hat's off to you guys sitting in the sun. A lot of people came in early. Of course, there's a small thing called the Shuttle Endeavour coming next door, which has caused a few problems, I believe, for people. But honestly, this match, you know, the build-up, the hype, we've seen the players sat there. We've seen them, they've watched this whole build-up. How do you deal with the pressure and the nerves coming into this match?
So much of this is going to just be about playing the game. They can't actually realize where they are, what's on the line, and they have to focus entirely on their little box and just remember they're here to play League of Legends. You have to put everything else aside. Easier said than done, obviously, but they really just have to focus on playing their games and using their strategies.
Yeah, and honestly, these 2 teams, they've come through. So we saw Taipei Assassins join it in the quarterfinals. They were one of the #1 seeds. Azubu Frost were one of the #1 seeds, but had to go through the group stage. Do you feel they're just going to feel, you know, we deserve that spot, we should be there? But honestly, these 2 teams, who's had the biggest advantage? Have they had that advantage coming in from the quarterfinals? Or is Azubu Frost having that big, long day 1 really give them that advantage?
Just going all the way back to day 1, Azubu Frost, they lost out on the 5 regional winners drawings, and they were the ones who got stuck in the group stage. And they proved pretty much that they're one of the best, obviously. They should have been drawn into the quarterfinals in their minds and crushed the group stage, beat up on Solo Mid, and then they had that close 3-game set in the semifinals. And it's, for them, vindication. They've been here before. They've had so much back and forth. That's the 2nd time they've beaten CLG EU in a best of series. It was best of 3 and best of 5 previously. And we talked about it in the pregame, but there is a big adjustment period for them because the aggression that comes out from Taipei Assassins is completely unmatched by almost any team in this tournament. 21 minutes and 5 turrets down, 21 minutes and 6 turrets down in games 2 and 3 against Moscow 5. And there is that David and Goliath matchup, so Taipei Assassins did just beat Moscow 5, who many considered the favorites in this tournament. Whether that's going to be a letdown, whether they think they've already beaten the best team or not, needs to get out of their minds because this is the biggest game of their lives. Azubu Frost is the best team in the tournament for them that they've faced yet. That has to be their mindset. They need to know to step up their game for this finals.
Absolutely, and of course Azubu Frost coming into this with that massive game experience, you know, the fact that they've played in front of huge crowds already. Taipei Assassins, you could argue, in their regional qualifiers also had a very big crowd. I'm sure everybody has seen the screenshots, the pictures that were taken in Taipei, and it was just fantastic. So really, with that mindset, I mean, with this crowd, the size of the crowd, the fact that the crowd is probably going to get behind one team or another, I don't know how split they are really, we'll find out shortly, I'm sure, but you know, if you suddenly find out you're the favorite, you're unexpected, or, you know, the crowd are really getting behind you, screaming your name, how does that affect you when you're sat either in game or something, making big plays?
Snoopé was talking about this earlier, being a fan favorite, and it really feeds their energy. And I think, if I had to guess, the crowd favorite here is going to be the Taipei Assassins. It's an underdog story. People put power rankings out before this tournament. Who do you think has a chance? They were ranked 10th, they were ranked 6th. they've proven to the world that they deserve to be there, and really, it does seem like they have a lot of fans and followers behind them, and in between games, if they do fall back a match, they need to re-pick up that nothing-to-lose attitude that they picked up in the semifinals. They got crushed that first one against Moscow 5, and then they came back strong. They stormed, they were aggressive, they invaded the jungle, they pushed turrets, and they have to have that really from game one, but it might take a loss to get them into that mode.
And I'm going to throw a completely different slant on this. All the pro players are sat there. How jealous do you think they are right now?
Pretty jealous, I'd have to say. I'm a little jealous of the teams up there.
Jealous.
The amount that they stand to gain off of this match, not only through the fame, but also through just actual dollars. $200,000 a player if you split up the million. Even second place is $250,000. And obviously, the accolades and the carryover into Season 3, which is going to be even larger than this. These guys, absolutely ready to go, I think.
Absolutely ready to go, but how do you bottle that up? I mean, we've come up to the stage. I think we're probably about 5 minutes away from the beginning of this game. All them practice hours. I mean, we don't even know who these guys were practicing with. It was that secretive. They literally had the doors closed. I can only guess Azubu Frost had Azubu Blaze up through the early hours of the morning practicing with them.
And that's what they did so much of, even during OGN Summer. They were actually the team that scrimmed everyone else, and then they would exclusively scrim with Azubu Blaze. Turned out making them a better team in the end, but they've practiced against pretty much everyone, and in this, they have that Azubu family in a lot of senses, and they must have been practicing against Blaze because they are ready to go. And then Taipei Assassins, CLG EU was a very good practice partner for them, and who better to give them scouting advice than a team that's taken multiple games from them and had to play them in a semifinals. So both of these teams, even though they've tried to be secretive, have ways of scouting each other, and this match is going to be insane.
It is going to be insane. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head over to the main stage and join Rachel and DJ Wheat to get the World Finals underway.
Introducing the first of our World Final teams. Shrugging off a group stage draw, they have stormed through a tournament so far. They blitzed through the first 2 days with 5 victories and 0 losses. And they took down CLG EU in a heart-pounding epic semifinals match. They are the reigning champions of Korea's OGN Champions League. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Azubu Frost. Playing as support, his 10.4 assists per game is the highest in the World Championships. For Azubu Frost, it's MadLife!
A former #1 player on the Korean realm, he has also had at one point owned 4 of the top 20 solo queue spots in North America. The AD carry for Azubu Frost. Give it up for Woong!
A dominant force in the jungle. He averaged an incredible 9.4 assists per game in the championship thus far. It's CloudTemplar!
Starting his League of Legends career by playing from level 10 to 2200 ELO on only Anivia. He holds a 4.7 KDA in the championship thus far. In mid lane, for Azubu Frost, it's RapidStar!
You know him for his invincible Singe and epic top lane victories. With the highest gold per minute on Frost, it's Shine! Let's hear it one more time for Azubu Frost!
now, introducing their opponents. With a record of 4 wins and 1 loss, they took down Macnoon and Najin Sword in the quarterfinals. They shocked the world by beating M5 in an epic 3-game semifinal. They are the kings of the Garena Premier League. Please welcome the Taipei Assassins!
The play caller and support for Taipei Assassins. He's averaging 8.4 assists per game. It's Mistake!
An aggressive player with outstanding positioning. He's averaging 4.2 kills per game. The AD carry for the Taipei Assassins. Give it up for Bebe!
In the jungle, he has held the top 2 solo queue positions during the League of Legends beta with a 3.1 KDA in the championship. It's none other than Lilballz!
He holds the highest KDA and gold per minute of all the players on stage today. Playing as the AP carry with a staggering 13.3 KDA. Give it up for Toyz!
He's now famous for his meta-changing builds and innovative playstyles. With a tournament KDA of 4 in the top lane for Taipei Assassins, it's Stanley. Let's give it up one more time for the Taipei Assassins!
Ladies and gentlemen, now that you've met the teams, let's see what they're playing for. In addition to the $1 million first place prize and of course the honor of calling themselves the Season 2 World Champions, there's one more thing that we felt was needed. Take a look.
Everything starts with an idea, followed by a desire to make or build or do something great. The need is in our DNA. It rests within our soul. To marshal your skills requires discipline. You approach your dream as a master craftsman would, taking a journey toward refinement. Within you lies an unrelenting voice telling you to make the next thing better than the last. A personal study of ingenuity and artistry. This commitment has demanded a certain amount of sacrifice, but your deliberate effort has produced work that is continually evolving and growing. We make this in your honor, because you choose to meet the ultimate challenge. To challenge yourself to be the best of the best. This belongs to you, the champion.
Presenting the Summoners Cup for the very first time, please welcome Dustin Redbeard Beck.
Hey guys, love you too. No championship would be complete without a trophy, a symbol of the talent, the sacrifice, and the dedication of all the teams that have been competing over the course of this year and for years to come. This trophy also reflects the passion of our fans, as you guys are the ones that have made all this possible. I present to you guys the Summoners Cup! Oh, troll. We love the troll. We love the troll. Riot Games, baby. Boom! Oh, looks good. Tonight, one of these teams is going to have the chance to be the first to etch their name in the base of this, in the Summoners Cup, and be forever immortalized in the pantheon of League of Legends esports. Azubu Frost, Taipei Assassins, good luck, you guys.
We've met the players. We've seen what they're playing for. Let's head on over to the caster's desk and begin the first match.
Thank you very much, DJ Weed, Redbeard, and of course, Rachel. What a fantastic start. What an amazing trophy these guys are going to win. On top of $1 million. It's not bad.
It's a nice little addition to all of the things that they've had so far. And we're going to be going into Champion Select as soon as these players are ready. It's crazy that it's happening right now, because I never expected, maybe 6 months ago, to see this kind of turnout for an esports event, and just the growth and the love of all the fans and the passion they have in this game. To see everyone here, it's amazing.
Yeah, and then obviously you've been at Riot Games for 6 months now. You used to be in Dignitas, of course. I'm sure everybody is watching at home is aware of that fact. Coming into this, you know, seeing the whole venue full of League of Legends fans, you know, we went out to get food earlier on and people wanted photos. It's like, even as casters, it's a little strange, but the players, they are the real superstars of this tournament. How much pressure. And it seems the crowd have a favorite at this tournament. It's hard to argue with.
That is just awesome.
That is awesome. I mean, immediately, that sort of pressure is immediately, you're the favorite, apparently, according to the crowd here at the venue.
Now Azubu has to deal with not being the fan favorite. There's, even in the pre-games, though, there are many Azubu supporters in the crowd, but TPA, no one expected them coming into this tourney. Then they knocked out Moscow 5, and now they got the support of all these fans.
They do seem to have the support of all these fans, of course. Azubu Frost had some big cheers, you know, very generous support from both sets of fans. Coming into this, okay, let's have a look through the lanes. I mean, we saw, obviously, Freakin' Rivington touched on all the players. We've just seen some phenomenal stats from these guys. The shot callers, interestingly enough, are both support players.
And the thing with the Azubu Frost is it's a shared duty between their support player, MadLife, and also their jungler, CloudTemplar. I know CloudTemplar does have a very large voice in their teams, and here we go into Champion Select. How are they going to go back and forth? I know Blitzcrank has been pretty contested through this whole thing. Everyone's ready to go.
Everyone is ready to go. It has been a big build-up. Let's see what they go with. There is the first ban, Blitzcrank. Both teams have had it banned against them 3 times, I believe, so no surprise that that was banned out there. Jace also been a very strong favorite in this tournament. Of course, they don't want Stanley having that, but we know how well Stanley has that backup of Nidalee. Those spears so strong. Skarner being banned out, that's CloudTemplar's one of his favorite champions.
And the Nidalee, if they pick it, it wouldn't be early, because they very much like to do that in a counter pick. The Jace ban, no surprise. Stanley was actually the first player to pick Jace competitively, so he's feared. Everyone knows that. They're not letting Toyz have Orianna. Collective size from everyone. I'm not expecting to see that anytime soon with how dominating he's been with it and how much control that adds. And back and forth, these are all just directed bans at the players. Jax is for Shy. Back and forth, these guys obviously obviously done their homework.
We only got to see Jax, I think, one time in the tournament from Azubu Frost. That was against CLG, I believe, CLG-NA.
And we actually had a clip of him getting a double kill at a sliver of health, and they're just like, you know what?
That's
I
why
wanna
we're
see
not
that.
going to let him have him. Yeah, indeed. Final pick to ban, sorry, taking a little while from Azubu Frost because there's a few things been left open. They've gone with Cogmore. That is a surprise ban, and definitely the fans are very much knowledgeable. And Anivia may well get locked in here. We don't know. You never know with these players, you see. We don't like to bite things early, but I don't think we've seen Toyz Anivia throughout this tournament.
He has played Anivia, actually. It was in the second game against Najin Sword, and he went 6-0-5 with it. That was a brilliant ploy by them because they knew that RapidStar wanted it. CLG EU had to ban that out earlier. They're going to lock in the Sona, I'm pretty sure, because they love Sona. It's the #1 support for them, and it also potentially blocks TPA from a safe Nunu pick because the high poke from them is, and the Sona Ezreal, scouted by many as being the best two-man high poke lane you can have in the game. What's TPA going to do to counter that?
And the question is, that means Azubu Frost surely might use this in the top lane. We saw it against CLG. They just shoved that top lane down with that combo. Maokai, it has been one of the strongest junglers probably throughout the tournament. Definitely sets up those ganks early. Matches the aggressive play that Taipei Assassins have.
Maokai is going to be a contested pick amongst both these guys. The only junglers that Lilballz has actually won on have been Dr. Mundo and Maokai, so this is a very clear pick for him. CloudTemplar has had most success on Maokai and Skarner as well, so if they pick that away, that leaves it open for the other side. If they do end up going with the Maokai, I'd almost expect a Shen from CloudTemplar because he's been very much about control of the map, and if he can just sit in the jungle and come out with Shen, that fits right into their style, especially with high pressure lanes coming out from Sona Ezreal. They're taking their time with this one, though. You can tell they don't know if they got the strategy, and a Lulu pick coming out. Poke versus Poke, gonna go in versus Sona there.
This could be a very aggressive team pick. The next two picks, and like you mentioned, the deliberately slowness of it. He saw a mistake there, talking across. Obviously, the shot call that we said, I guess they're having a global discussion. Vladimir, we saw Vladimir in the middle for Azubu Frost against CLG. Froggen said he was well aware of that fact, expecting it against Morgana. Definitely can farm strongly against Morgana and against Anivia. And
RapidStar really likes Vladimir. He knows the ins and outs of the TPA matchup, and here could be a Karthus. Strangely enough, though, the two times, both of these teams have picked a Karthus Shen comp twice, and that was the only game they lost in the tournament. But they like the Karthus versus Anivia matchup. And a Namumu coming in from CloudTemplar.
Whether he was going to do a Namumu, but that is an insta-lock-in Vayne there. They really wanted that combo. Of course, that was a combo we saw come strong against the Cogmores. And, you know, we didn't see Vayne until the semi-finals, and suddenly, bam, selected in 2 matches and was absolutely superb.
And they want to lane swap with this. There's no way they're laning Lulu Vayne up against Sona Ezreal. Now this last pick is going to be a very skilled 1v2 laner. The trouble is they don't know what Azubu Frost last pick is, and there's an Olaf, perfect for the 1v2 lane.
So Stanley going to be on Olaf. He's going to be against the Ezreal Sona poke. What will be the final pick? Will it be Singed? Will it be Shen?
They've done Singed in 1v2 lanes before, and Shy's had much success on it. It would be tricky, though, because slows and even the wall could shut down him if he's trying to run away, and you can spam the slows down with Lulu and Maokai. Singed would be a very, very dangerous pick here. I'd expect him to go with something else, but what does Shy have up his sleeve here, because he's been so dominating with that Singed, and they do have this last pick potential to counter everything. And there's the Aurelia. Here are the teams.
Aurelia being locked in. Talk about the teams.
Right now we have the Amumu is going to be so huge for Azubu Frost. They're going to have to get to a point where they can teamfight, and when they have that, the Amumu ult on top of the Crescendo, on top of the Ezreal ult could just clean the floor. TPA has very much Maokai trying to get around early, and the Vayne fast push with 2v1 lanes is going to be what they try to create. Toyz is going to try to shut them out in teamfights, and back and forth, these guys actually have very good late games together. But based on their styles, it's going to be about fast pushing towers, and who can better prepare for that.
So ladies and gentlemen, the teams are locked in. The OGN Summer Champions, Azubu Frost. If you would like them to take this game, take this trophy, take the Summoners Cup, give them a cheer.
Really good support for them. If you guys want to see Taipei Assassins take the first game here and get one step closer to the Summoners Cup, let's hear it for TPA.
What a tremendous trophy that is. TPA seems to be the champ, but it's pretty even, I think, across the board. Azubu Frost definitely have a lot of support, certainly in Korea, obviously in prime time now for the Korean audiences, as well as Taipei. And, well, honestly, Jat, I mean, coming into this, the team comps, who would you favor as we get into the game?
I've talked to a lot of pros, and it's odd for them as we get into the game. Normally, they're very one-sided in what they say. They're very definitive about how they predict, and everyone says 3-2. I don't know who's going to win. These teams are very even. Now that they come out of the base, we're finally here into the World Finals.
Well, I know everyone here would certainly love to see a 3-2. Everyone at home would love to try and stay up, and I favor with all those Europeans that have stayed up through the night. You have my sympathies, ladies and gentlemen, because Taipei Assassins versus Azubu Frost is about to get underway, and the water immediately goes in their faces. If you've just joined us, if you've just tuned in, the Taipei Assassins as a blue team as game one gets underway. Azubu Frost as the red team. We are just 50 seconds into it. We are going to see a level 1 invade.
And this is brute force because they're going right through a ward that they just saw. They're just trying to get a ward on the raids, and the big weakness for Mumu is early game counter jungling. Funnily enough, the early game weakness of Maokai is also that, so it was a pretty good pick against it. They're both poking around, trying to invade the other team's buffs. There's a lot of wards. You can see a lot of supports have just went to burning all their wards on early level 1 buffs. Looks like Maokai's starting at blue and Amumu's starting at blue as well, so both of these junglers looking to start very strongly, and neither team actually going for an aggressive invade. They know how much is on the line, and it does seem like they have conservative plays coming out early.
Of course, that $1 million would certainly make you think twice about any crazy plays you were going to throw out. Certainly in the first game, definitely going to be a cautious match for the first match. Wouldn't expect anyone to go overly aggressive. They've got nothing to lose at the moment, of course, but you know, they could come back from anything. Taipei Assassins taking the golems. You can see also setting up for the red. Meanwhile, the blue buff, is also being picked up by Azubu Frost. That is going to be the Nivelish. And that is going to be CloudTemplar picking up the blue buff, we would assume. Just going to see whether they use the smite here. It is something that Amumu always needs in the jungle to start.
And actually, there wasn't any lane swapping. They might have out-mind gamed each other because Bebe and Mistake have to lane up against this Sona Ezreal. That's going to be a very difficult lane for them. They're going to get poked down really hard in the bottom lane. CloudTemplar saving his smite so he can pick up the red buff very early. Both junglers getting seen by wards a bit, and that bottom lane, Bebe getting poked hard early.
Very low. The exhaust had to get used. They might be able to turn this one. Had to burn the flash there. They're trying to go for it. Bebe, MadLife trying to get aggressive. He puts the ignite down on Mistake. Mistake's going to get taken low. Woong's going to have one more Mystic shot. Can he make it? No! And that's going to force Taipei Assassins back early on. They're going to try and burn the health pots, so they've got to go back.
This is really going to hurt them. They're going to lose a wave on the turret, and that could set them behind very much. They can't go back to that lane and keep hurting because that is going to continue happening. Punishment going down around the map. Big harassment early, and that was the play for Azubu Frost. Big advantage there early bottom lane.
Okay, so looking like the lanes are going to be pretty standard. We're just going to keep our eye on where CloudTemplar is going to head. Take us through this top lane moment as CloudTemplar has a little peek actually. And let's just stay with it a moment. You can see if he can get the bandage toss on towards Stanley. He's going to show himself, and that's going to be the stun going straight down. He's going to have plenty of time to land that bandage toss. It's going to be first blood. Stanley's going to go down. It is going to be Shy picking up first blood for Azubu Frost.
The crowd here is electric, and that was huge. They got the stun onto Olaf, and since he had Ghost instead of Flash, they chained it, and the red buff slowed him down enough so he couldn't escape that gank. Top lane and bottom lane now very strong early advantages, and Amumu's weakness sometimes is early game ganks aren't as strong, and that was big for them. Still a bunch of harass going back and forth in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Woong taking a lot of damage in that bottom lane, also taking a tower hit, getting a little too crazy with the aggression. Needs to be very careful. Once Bebe can manage to get in position, can try and poke him down. You can see Woong again taking a lot more poke, but with MadLife there, the sustain is very high between these two. As it stands though, Azubu Frost definitely with that advantage, 700 gold, early stuff, and honestly, that assist from Amumu, it's exactly what he needed.
Yeah, and look, he got a Philosopher's Stone at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. That's going to be huge for his late game play. Huge, big early start, and you can see now Lilballz up in that top lane, camping, trying to get Stanley back in the game. What happens a lot of times is top lane will try to snowball. You can get in on that. Lilballz still camping up in the top, Aurelia coming back in the lane, and CloudTemplar isn't quite there to support. Shy's going to look to get aggressive here, and if he does, Lilballz will be coming right out for the gank.
Now, they've already pinged on Lilballz, so I think they realize he may be there. We're seeing CloudTemplar coming around the side. They've dived on towards Shy.
Too.
Here comes a Mumu coming around the side. Shy's heading towards him. Have they got enough though? I think Shy might go down before they get the chance to finish it off. There goes Shy. Stanley manages to get it down. Can they get another stun on towards CloudTemplar? CloudTemplar with the double buff. He doesn't want to go down. He twists the mats. Lilballz makes it.
What a great turnaround by TPA there. The double buffs getting renewed onto Lilballz. Level 5 Maokai now at 5 minutes. That's the swap around they need, and great support after that early failure top.
The bottom lane is very aggressive though. Woong and MadLife certainly pressing the pace here on Bebe, and Bebe having to get shielded up there. Really being pressed heavily on the turret. Matching up these lanes, you can see Woong taking some damage, but Bebe is definitely struggling. Obviously, we've seen him so far ahead in his lanes, normally in terms of CS, 26 to 33. How do you match that lane up?
The saving grace for them now is the fact that they're blue side, so they can continually go back and get double golems. Most likely, they're going to lose their tower fairly early if Azubu Frost decides to push it, but as it is, they're going to be basing very frequently and continually picking up those double golems to make up for the experience loss. They're sticking in there fairly well considering the level 1 loss, 28 minion kills to 39. They're down at Doran's Blade in items. You can see Woong picking up that second one, and it's just going to be a constant struggle for them to stay in the game. Luckily, they got that turnaround in the top lane, and that's going to be big.
Yeah, and there's wards across the board here. 4 members of both teams, 5 members of Taipei Assassins picking up wards there, showing they're really spreading the load, spreading the love. Toyz versus RapidStar. We haven't really had a chance to look at this one so far because the aggression has been in them top and bottom lanes. Take us through Anivia versus Kalthus.
It's mostly a farm off, and then it will come into aggression, mostly once Maokai starts ganking Karthus. I don't know if they can actually get onto Toyz. He's been pretty much unkillable. He plays so passive in lane before he ends up getting aggressive, and you can actually see both teams preemptively did a lane swap. Taipei Assassins went up top to try to get some free farm, and Azubu Frost was right on top of it, both going up to top lane. They're not going to let Vayne get a 2v1 in free farm because they need to keep the pressure on.
We are seeing them trying to match it up there, but that means Olaf did get in lane quite a bit earlier, and at the moment Stanley's starting to take a little bit of a lead in terms of CS. Of course, they've both got a kill apiece and an assist. But as it is, we saw the jungler Lilballz just hanging around that mid lane, but RapidStar was not showing himself any position. CloudTemplar just going back, building up that heart of gold. Heavy GP10 items being built up by these guys. It's something we've seen throughout the tournament.
And Lilballz actually getting an Oracle's Elixir already, so he's going to be looking for those early ganks and to continue from the success he saw top lane, giving the blue buff over to Toyz right now, still having the blue buff from the earlier trade, and he's going to clean up this ward top, and once Azubu Frost has no wards, they won't be able to pressure Vayne and Lulu quite as hard, and it's going to help them a whole bunch having that map control.
As the cheer goes for the ward kill. Thank you very much, guys, for bearing with us through that entire Saturday. It was a long, long day for all of us. And as it is, we are getting things going here. And Taipei Assassins 2-1 up. Toyz taking a very early ward there and looking like a potential red invade here, Jack.
And really, they're just trying to catch CloudTemplar. Once they realize he's level 6, though, this invade becomes increasingly dangerous, and he's actually baiting. They know that Lilballz is around pushing the red, and he's going to try to catch him here while they collapse down with Sona and Ezra. Lilballz has to run away.
He has to back off, like you say. Sona and Ezra coming both down, and that is going to be CloudTemplar picking it up. But it's good to see Taipei Assassins going for those aggressive plays, something Azubu Frost has yet to do, obviously, them trying to push that lane heavily. And now we're seeing Anivia picking up those raids. They're trying to help him farm out here, and then again he's going to assist Lilballz in picking up the red buff of his own.
And really, I just want to look at the lanes a bit here because you can see Stanley against Shy. So much has been talked about this matchup. We saw Stanley completely dominate on Italy in the semifinals, and Shy completely destroy on Shen. And Shy actually has a bit of an early edge here. He's 11 up, and here comes a gank around the back. Lilballz with Oracles cleaned him out. Shy's in trouble.
The Ignite goes down on towards Shy here. Has he got enough to try and finish off Stanley before he finishes? Lilballz gets in there, tries to bait him around, pulls him into the push, and takes him down with the Carlos ultimate. The Requiem will... No! It didn't finish him off! Stanley survived with nothing! The Israel ultimate didn't actually aim for him. There was a push on mistake up the top there as well.
The clutchest of plays by Olaf there. He popped his Ragnarok at the end there because it gives him armor and MR, and because of that he lived through the Requiem, so he burned the ultimate from RapidStar, and they got the successful gank. Brilliant play.
But that top lane is being pushed very heavily here from Woong. You can see alongside him, they are really driving it home, and this could be a turning point. Azubu Frost with Sona Ezreal is such a strong lane. Often we've seen Woong getting so far ahead of his lane partner, and you can see already 71 to 59, effectively 60 any second as soon as he returns to lane. Definitely building up that advantage, which we've seen throughout this tournament for Woong.
And immediately, since they realize that they're falling a bit behind in kills, they turn on the fast push. They're trying to get this tower down, and they're trying to get the global gold back into their hands to pull them back. That'll give them more than 700 gold, killing that tower as a team, and they really need to make sure they keep Bebe down. Vayne's actually made kind of 2 appearances in this tournament, both of them being victories. Another ward kill by Lilballz. That Oracles is coming in handy.
It is definitely coming in handy, so Lilballz shows himself up the top there, puts down a sapling, I think, in the Tribe Shell. I think it was a ward, and that's going to be CloudTemplar walking directly into it. That's going to give them a warning, and they'll back away. But that bottom lane, despite the fact it's 2-1 as the sapling there disrupts the pullback. Oh, Toyz actually trying to get aggressive on RapidStar here. Has he got enough to finish him off? He might do. The ignite goes in. The basic shot. Yes, he does. Toyz takes him down and continues his unstoppable record in that mid lane.
Toyz just bullying out RapidStar, and you look at that, he's got a 20 minion kill lead on him as well, so really, there haven't been jungle ganks to give him that edge. That's all Toyz in that lane, and that's 4 kills to 1 now for TPA after that first blood, taking the next 4, and they are taking control of this game. You can see Lilballz still clearing out the wards, and Azubu Frost can't keep pace with the pressure right now. Shy scouting up towards Dragon because he's just trying to get vision, and Lilballz is going to catch him out in the river here if Olaf can support. No, they're just going to end up disengaging.
They're both going to back off. They see each other. They realize they were there. And as it is, though, that bottom lane, Stanley being outpumped quite heavily by Shaw. We can see they're turning on towards MadLife here. Crescendo comes across, but the ultimate goes straight towards Bebe. He wants to take down MadLife. One more shot, but Woong round the side of us will take Bebe down. No! Condemns him, tries to push him back, but Woong with a beautiful Mystic shot takes down. And can he get on towards Mistake here? He's going to get Arcane Shift available. He hasn't got the mana, though, and he's going to have to step off.
CloudTemplar with an Oracles as well, taking out this top ward. But the big play for that was actually for Bebe. They went aggressive onto a lane that's supposed to be destroying them. They're only down by about 13 minion kills. It's going to get a bit worse now that he's died. But that was still a pretty good play for Bebe and Mistake. They're going to lose this tower. That was going to happen anyway. Vayne doing a pretty good job keeping farm, because if they get him into teamfight late game phase, it's going to be huge. That tower kill, taking the gold pretty much even.
So 11:55 and the first tower goes down, along with another ward by Lilballz. He's really farming up, making that Oracle pay, but this bottom lane, surely will it become a concern for them here?
You actually only need to clear out 16 wards for the Oracles to pay for himself. He's getting close to that point, and it's really just created so much map pressure for them. The Dragon play is going to be happening shortly. Both junglers trying to clear out the area. CloudTemplar has his Amumu ult up. They have Requiem back. Crescendo's a little bit slower. If they fought now, it would be in the advantage of TPA, because they have all of their cooldowns except for mistakes, and these fans continue to applaud the wards.
Shy getting jumped on, Shy's getting dominating down the bottom here. They should be able to take him down. Yes, they do. Bebe gets him. That's, of course, going to turn the fight for the Dragon. CloudTemplar's having to back away here. Mistake, would you believe, bullying him in. Toyz could get a wall across here. They're going to try and wall him. They do. They managed to back him up. Have they got enough to slow him down? There's going to be the stun up towards CloudTemplar, but they're just forcing them away. True Shot Barrage does manage to hit a lot of Taipei assassins. They're going to maybe try and go for the Dragon here. Nope, they are going to back away.
They got harassed down pretty heavily. Most of that with True Shot Barrage from Woong. It didn't have any damage fall off, getting them all pretty straight on. TPA actually backing off. The kill onto Shy, though, is pretty big. They're picking on him a little bit. He's out minion killing Stanley and trying to apply pressure, but because the Oracles clears and because he isn't safe with vision, they're continually ganking him and getting him down. And CloudTemplar getting seen by all those wards, not clearing out wards as fast as Lilballz. And this game, 6-2, TPA coming out with a lot of aggression. They need to start getting turrets, however.
If you guys can keep that ward cheering up throughout these 5 matches, I'll be very impressed. But the first game, you've got to give it to Taipei Assassins. They're certainly trying it. It is 6-2. Taipei Assassins currently up in kills, but you can see the goal is still very close. That one tower, of course, turning it for Azubu Frost there, spotting it, and Lilballz has been caught high here. CloudTemplar pops his ultimate. You can see Ezreal coming in. That's going to be the counter's ultimate. Is it enough to save Lilballz? No! He goes down. The Oracle burns. Can they catch on towards Mistake? They're going to try and turn this
Stanley.
one. Olaf Stanley coming down the side there. There comes the axe. He's going to get on CloudTemplar. He does. He takes both Oracles now burned. Can they turn it on to Woong? Just one more axe. Will he get the slowdown? Stanley's going to be able to tank the turrets up. They are going to go for this one. They take him down. Have they got enough to take MadLife? Yes, they do! And Bebe picks it up. Very nice turnaround. And Taipei Assassins from a real strong position for Azubu Frost counter very nicely.
They realized that Shy was top on Irelia and that they had the man advantage. Now they get this free Dragon with 4 members, and they just pushed into Azubu Frost for that aggression. They burned the Amumu ult on a single target, which gave gave TPA a big advantage in that team fight. Shy trying to counter with a push bottom, but Lilballz is all over that because he's right there to clear the wave, not allowing those turret kills to come through.
Well, there is a big difference in kills, of course, at the moment between support and assist between Stanley and Shy. And Shy, we've seen it so many times. You know, if he falls behind, he's just going to carry on farming. He's got a 45 CS advantage currently over Stanley. That's pretty big. But the 2-1-5 for Stanley has given him that gold advantage. And that mid lane, of course, Toyz versus RapidStar. Toyz seemingly winning it out currently on Anivia.
And Shy, despite his incredible performances on Singed, has been a little bit up and down in this tournament. This does seem to be a down game. He hasn't tuned back his aggression. He's getting the minions, but he's just letting Vayne and the rest of TPA get very farmed. We look at the gold. This is the big difference here. Woong versus Bebe. 4,900 for Bebe, 4,200 for Woong. And considering that was a Vayne versus Ezreal matchup, the early farm going to Vayne means very scary things for them. Stanley dodging the bandage toss in the top lane, and he's just going to walk away. He's toying with Azubu Frost right now.
Absolutely loving him. We saw it with his Nidalee against Moscow 5, and Darian, he's going to have nightmares against that Nidalee up against him in that lane. But Stanley quite happy, despite the fact he has got no ward coverage, to continue holding that position. Quite confident that CloudTemplar has backed off. Lilballz was there to help out, but Bebe, like you mentioned, the fact that he fell behind, he's got those 4 kills. He's got that gold advantage now, and despite all the pushing, has really worked in favor of Taipei Assassins.
And you can see this lane dynamic has completely changed, especially now with Bebe having the red buff. They're bullying back on to Woong and MadLife, and actually should be able to push onto this turret and just get him continually farming. He's only down 8 minions. He's getting a Phantom Dancer soon, and they are just pushing the pressure onto them, going back into the mid lane as well. Toyz playing with RapidStar as well. 11 minion kills up. Athene's Unholy Grail like we've seen this entire tournament. And top lane, we might have a fight. No, not really, but a Mumu coming down bottom. There's the Crescendo.
Crescendo goes across. They actually cleansed it off there, Bebe. That's going to be the Carthus ultimate. Will it be enough to take down Bebe? Yes, it will. Mistake might follow. Woong's going to get dived on there. Will he manage to finish off Mistake? That's going to be CloudTemplar trying to take the tower damage. Yes, he will. And he misses the ultimate. He missed the ultimate. Now Lilballz is coming around the side. Has he got anything? He's just going to have to force them back. We do see Toyz, though, taking down that mid turret as well on the way through.
And Toyz might be trying to collapse down onto CloudTemplar. Lilballz trying to keep pace. They might go for this if he gets the twisted advance.
And they can see CloudTemplar is trying to back away. Has he got enough? He dives on towards Woong there. He's going to get the ignite. Surely he's going to get the slum down. Yes, he does. Will he finish him off? He's going to take him down. Now we have Stanley going around the back on towards CloudTemplar. The wall completely missed him, but it doesn't matter. Stanley gets one. Can he get another? He's all over MadLife. He's going to take him down. He gets the double kill. It's 12-5 for Taipei Assassins.
And that's just the counter gank from TPA. Every time Azubu Frost uses that Amumu ult, they get a kill out of it, and it's followed by multiple kills from TPA. Stanley comes down and collapses, and it's Shy not countering where Stanley is moving. He's trying to farm up and push that side lane, but right now, the plays are coming out for TPA. Stanley, 4 kills, 1 death, 5 assists, being the playmaker very much so for them. Been a part of 9 kills, and even though they're trying to split push, there always seems to be a TPA member that's there to stop the turret pushes. They're now up 2 turrets to 1, and in kills and in gold, really starting to snowball this a little bit. Azubu Frost has to stop the bleeding.
This is something we've seen with the Korean teams and with the Asian teams, the fact that they can counter, they can sense that attack, and they already get in position. We saw it with Azubu Blaze versus TSM at the MLG New York, when they were just countering everything TSM had at them. At the moment, Taipei Assassins are doing the exact same thing to Azubu Frost, and they're just unsure of what to do. The Dragon is coming up shortly. Of course, it's not taken. You can see them hanging around the blue swarm. We are looking at the top lane, though, and here we go. Lilballz going to come in. He's going to take down that ward, of course, and Toyz is with him. They will steal the blue.
And there's nothing Azubu Frost can do to stop this one. CloudTemplar having fallen behind Lilballz. He lost that Oracle, so did Lilballz, but they've been creating more action, TPA that is, so it's not hurting them as much. Amumu also requires more farm than Maokai to get things done, so it's falling hard for them. Stanley trying to get pushed on by Shy, but he's just able to repel that. He's substantially behind in minion kills, 152 to 92 in that top lane matchup, but the pressure Stanley's created is more than worth it.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Shirelia's Reverie being built by Stanley pretty early on there. You can see gold-wise, he's 1,000 gold ahead of Shy, despite the fact he is down, because he's got that 4-1-5 kill ratio.
And the Reverie is playing right into his style. We've seen these really long chases. He has Ghost. He is unCCable. He's just been charging through towers. And that's the build for him. Olaf doesn't need to build damage items. He's building in just with health, just with move speed, just with cooldown reduction, and that's really his play style. Azubu Frost not really having an answer for what Stanley's doing so far because he's just ran straight at Woong, and Woong hasn't had an answer yet.
As it is at the moment, we can see this bottom lane. Woong's continuing to farm. He's going to try and pull it back, but he's actually fell behind in farm because he's been dived on so many times by Bebe and co. As it is, Lilballz looking to maybe get aggressive, try and take away that red buff. You can see the ward control in there from Taipei Assassins. They're starting to try and invade all of the jungle, take away everything that Azubu Frost has.
And this is something they did so well up against Moscow 5. As soon as they got rid of that mid tower, the jungle also came into their control. They've taken the red buff now. That's after the blue buff steal, so they're completely controlling Azubu Frost buffs and starving them from any enhancements. Now they're going up for the third turret. But actually they sense the counterplay by Azubu Frost, and they're happy with this because BB's off in the bottom lane getting free farm, and Azubu Frost doesn't have an aggressive play to make here. They're going to try to push mid, but it's probably going to get repelled by TPA.
Yeah, they're going to try and cover across that mid. They do not want to lose it. They realize the dragon is now available, and Azubu Frost look like they've managed to peel away and get onto this one. You can see Taipei Assassins are reacting though.
They're going to try to get this dragon really fast, and BB had to run all the way around, so it looks like they'll get this dragon uncontested. If they can fight after this though, TPA would want to. They might try for an engage here.
They might try and go for the gauge. There's going to be the ultimate coming out from Amumu. Isn't it enough? Toyz is surely going to get dropped. He's down to an egg right now. CloudTemplar is getting dived on. The damage really coming from his Woong though at the back. That's going to be
cleaning up.
Stanley gets one. Stanley gets two. BB gets another one. That's going to be the Cardinals ultimate. He might pop over this one. He gets the quadra kill. He gets the quadra kill off the back. My word, Stanley, he's trying to avoid the damage, but Woong is in there. And could Azubu Frost get a better turnaround than that?
Everyone sat in top of RapidStar's Defile, and then when they took him out, the perfect timing for the Requiem. They just weren't ready for that damage. Quick impression there for the quadra kill. That was insane. So much farm coming out from RapidStar here, and it's going to make team fighting very difficult because Stanley needs to run through the team. Everyone needs to just dive onto Azubu, and now that he's gotten so much farm from that fight, he's going to be heavy. Okay, we're going to check out a replay of this one, try and take us through it in a calm manner. You can actually see after the dragon, they get a perfect Timber wall. The Ezreal hits them all as well, and this looks like a fight that's going to go in TPA's favor, but you can see the Karthus Defile is just sitting there. RapidStar doesn't fall until quite a while. He got so much damage going off there, and then really everyone's low. Sona's finishing up after, and that ultimate just cleaned house. Everyone got low because they didn't realize the Defile was going to last that long. I think they thought RapidStar died earlier and that the Defile was going to be worth sitting in. Boy, were they wrong.
The irony is they're the only kills so far that RapidStar has got. He just gets them all at once. That will turn his play very much, and you can see that's going to give him a big chunk of change. He's now ahead of Toyz in the kill. And let's not forget the fact that as soon as Toyz dies, TPA lose.
And that's the second Oracles Taipei Assassins have lost. Toyz really his first death. Can he stop the trend of winning without dying? Can he win with the death? He's got the Negatron Cloak here, and everyone realizing they need Magic Resist after that fight because they know they have to sit in RapidStar. Toyz picked up the Negatron Cloak, Stanley picked up the Negatron Cloak. Vayne is yet to build any Magic Resist. That's going to be dangerous for them since he's a close range AD carry. Even with that death though, and that team fight loss, they're keeping the pressure up. This is their style. They're trying to camp the blue buff, hoping someone comes in and checks. But it doesn't look like Azubu Frost is down for it. They've had so much experience against COG-EU. They're really trying their best to turtle out and get those team fights where RapidStar can just pick up those quadra kills.
Taipei Assassins trying to cover this one out. Are they going to try and steal the blue buff away? Are they going to try and bait someone in? You can see Woong just off the side there with MadLife as well as Shy. Is anyone going to go into it? I expect
they get the stun!
They get the stun towards Woong. They try and have the damage. The Twisted Advance completely through, and Woong goes down. It's actually Mistake that picks up the kill though. Not the ideal, but MadLife now getting dived on. Bebe thinks he can take this one. The crescendo on the turret. MadLife might turn it. He's got him. He's got him back. That's going to be a 1-for-1 down in that lane. Meanwhile, Stanley getting very aggressive here. He's going to have to back off. That's going to be a straight stun there, but Stanley will walk away.
And they just took the blue buff away from Azubu Frost as well, so they're continually denying that blue buff, and repetitive blue steals have led to victory very frequently in this tournament. It's another one for them. CloudTemplar gonna get that Aegis of the Legion soon to match up with Lilballz. These team fights are so close. Both teams actually have very good late game synergy. might have to give a slight edge to Azubu Frost just because Amumu on top of Karthus on top of Crescendo is so powerful. But with the pressure that TPA is putting out, they need to start to extend this lead. They lost a lot in that fight. The gold lead now shrinking below 3,000. They do have total control of the jungle. They seem to have total control of the map. And when Bebe gets going, nothing trucks like late game Vayne. And that's just more farm in the bottom lane for him to pick up.
Indeed, we are 25 minutes into it. We've talked about how the Asian teams tend to fall off after the 20-minute mark. That's when we saw the European teams much stronger in the team compositions. As it is, though, Azubu Frost, you know, COG called them one of the best team fighting teams in the world. The question is, can they pull themselves out of this 3k gold deficit they have? And, of course, a fed Stanley and a fed Vayne as well from Bebe. It could be a problem for them, but we saw the skill of the players. MadLife managing to turn a lost, you know, potentially a death easily there, and just managed to pick up a kill on the AD carry because he got too confident.
And TPA needs to worry about that confidence. They did get a little too confident at the Dragon fight. They're still putting the pressure on, and the kills are really in a pretty good distribution for them. Having Stanley being big and being able to dive through for Woong, as long as he can solo Woong and dive through the team, TPA is going to win this game. But the instant that he dies before he can get to Ezreal is when TPA has to start worrying. The ward kill comes out, people cheer, and they're actually pushing around Baron, trying to get ward control. They're looking to force something here. They're trying to get Azubu Frost into their grill so they can turn something around.
So Taipei Assassins with the 5-man group up. They have, of course, the Oracle on mistake. So both supports picking up those Oracles, clearing out all of those wards. Taipei Assassins looking to try and force something here.
And Taipei Assassins spreading the Oracles around. They had to lose 2 when Lilballz died, and they are sitting on a ward that they have yet to clear. So Azubu Frost actually looking for CloudTemplar maybe to initiate something here. They're trying to push down mid, but this play is forcing TPA into them. If they go for a turret, we're going to see a fight off this, and they're pushing hard down mid. They're cornering themselves, and TPA might come in for a fight.
Yeah, CloudTemplar looks like he was ready for that one. They're gonna have, of course, they've got a big amount of stun in there. Axe coming across.
Here they come!
Oh, they've used it. Shirelli is really going to go down. They're going to catch the ultimate across them. Didn't really hit the right spot though. Crescendo goes across. CloudTemplar's getting dropped very low. Toyz is being taken down. Not really the right target. RapidStar is getting dropped. RapidStar is down. Has he got his ultimate available? CloudTemplar taken down very low. Here comes the Requiem. It should hit a few. It does hit a few. And Woong and MadLife comes in. And Azubu Frost turning into a 3-on-1 fight. Toyz manages to get back out of his rebirth. But that was a good fight for Azubu Frost, as we see Toyz trying to pin off Woong.
And they keep falling to just sustained AoE damage. And the nice thing there is Woong focused onto Bebe and got him low enough for the Karthus ultimate to really get him with the last blow. RapidStar now with the death cap getting scarier and scarier. The big thing the TPA has to do here, since there's no avoiding the Requiem in team fights, is get that magic resistance. You can see the force of nature now onto Olaf. Negatron Cloak just getting purchased by Bebe. If they can fight again soon, before RapidStar gets magic penetration, they're going to have something. With that team fight though, Azubu Frost gets the Dragon. Gold lead even closer now, 1,000. And you can see their team fighting is coming out superior to TPA, and that's how they clawed their way back into this game.
So 18-13 in kills, definitely not going to be the stall tactic we've seen throughout this tournament and from certain teams. But we are going to check out the replay of that last fight and talk us through it.
Watch how Woong actually zones out Bebe in this fight. It looked like RapidStar might have died in the wrong place, but everyone is still clumped up. They're still getting the defile damage onto the majority of the team, and Bebe can't actually get to targets that he wants to. He's so zoned out, everyone just getting pushed back. Stanley was able to take it out, and because the Requiem comes down, no one can chase onto any priority targets for Azubu Frost. MadLife came in awesomely at the end with his amazing Sona. But that's just the team fights are really hard for TPA because it doesn't seem like they can get onto the targets they want. There's too much zoning potential coming out from Amumu and Karthus that the team fights do seem to be going in Azubu's favor.
So as it is, you can see Stanley on your screen. 716 has got that force of nature. Can he try and carry this one through for his team? Definitely seems to be calling out. He wants to force something. We can see Toyz down in the bottom lane though, so at the moment Taipei Assassins are split apart. We talked about their 4-man fight. Toyz right now feels he needs to farm up. He's got that Deathfire Grasp along with his Athenes and Holy Grail, which he picked up early on. It's something we've seen quite regular from the Asian teams.
The Athenes on Holy Grail is something Toyz has wanted this entire tournament. Almost every caster he plays is fairly mana hungry, and he'll get that Athenes. With the 4-man play, though, that's not how TPA has been playing this game. Stanley has actually been a creator. They wanted to run around as 5, and they're trying to force those things, but against Amumu Karthus, that's extremely dangerous. The split pushing isn't really coming in. Shy has actually been the one trying to make the 4v4s happen, and he's ended up getting picked off a few times because of it. Now that Azubu Frost has won a couple of team fights, the tides have turned here. They're the ones scouting around Baron buff, trying to clear out ward. MadLife's going to get that one in the triangle brush. And now it's Azubu Frost that has to come, or Taipei Sats that has to come into Azubu Frost. CloudTemplar can turn a fight very quickly with Bandage Toss and Ultimate, and they can just all flash follow on top of that. RapidStar's flash not quite up yet, but they're looking to get someone out of position here. There's a wall, here's a fight.
He's going to come in, he's going to be the curse of the mummy, goes straight across. Toyz getting dropped almost instantly there. Goes down, doesn't have rebirth available. Shy will drop. Taipei Assassin trying to turn this one. Mistake and Bebe trying to hammer the damage from the back there, but Crescendo comes across. Woong is going to get dropped. No! He gets the heal off. Has he survived? No! Stanley goes down on the back immediately. They're going to try to turn it. Mistake doing the damage. Lilballz, can he pick them all up? He gets one. And can he get another? The Carthel's ultimate comes through. It's not needed. And MadLife with a double kill at the end of it. MadLife is picking up kill after kill. He's 4-4-13. And Azubu Frost with another one-team fight.
We knew these teams were going to be aggressive coming in. Both of them were trying to match each other hit for hit, and it just seems like Azubu Frost is one step ahead of them in team fights. A Mumu ultimate's so key, and TPA just can't seem to finish off the targets. Bebe actually had a field day hitting in that last fight, but he didn't have his Infinity Edge. Now that he has that, it's about him avoiding focus, and if Vayne can get off big things in team fights, it's really what they have to rely on. Toyz got picked off at the start of that fight, and they still took down 3 members, and CloudTemplar and MadLife were very, very close. These team fights are still razor thin. Azubu Frost got an edge off that one with the turret and now a gold advantage, but I still can't call the rest of this because it's been back and forth, the kills are still very close, and it's not like these team fights are completely one-sided.
Looks like Taipei Assassins were thinking about trying to react very quickly. Azubu Frost are well aware of that. They could go and rush straight towards that Baron, and Taipei Assassins are definitely doing that. They're going to try and get in there and clear things out. Mistake is going to get and clear that ward down, and immediately Azubu Frost tried to react to this one. You saw the Shirelia's Reverie was used to escape off the back of this.
And they're actually just seeing a ward and they just cleared it out, but this is Azubu Frost going to fly into them. All their ultimates are up except, the Requiem and the Ezreal ult isn't, and Stanley's driving in. This is TPA pushing.
They're going on towards Shy. Shy getting dropped down immediately off that, and Bebe gets in there. CloudTemplar using the ultimate, but the rest of his team are not with him. They're dealing with Lilballz. The Shirelia's Reverie comes across, and you can see that that's going to be immediately catch on. CloudTemplar is just going to have to run away. Bebe's still taking a lot of damage, though. The Woong is just off the side, picking them apart. Carthel's picks up the double. They're going to take Toyz down. Azubu Frost once again come out on top of this team fight. And Stanley and Lilballz, the only 2 surviving members. Azubu Frost are going to try and push the Baron.
Bebe just got picked off there, and you can see how low everyone on Azubu Frost is. They're so good at dropping aggro, and that's just because they have a more powerful front line than TPA. Stanley's going to try to disrupt this, but he doesn't have his ultimate up, and they're just jumping off after him. They're taking down this Baron, and even though Lilballz is going to try to steal, they're not going to let him. They're going to look to peel Lilballz before they let him steal. It's littered with wards, so there's no way he can actually get in undetected.
He's trying to sneak around the side, trying to throw their saplings in. He does have Smite available. He's not going to be out of it in a position to get in there. Would be suicide. And he backs away. And Azubu Frost now tied in kills. 22-22. They've got a 4-2 kill tower advantage. They've got the Baron. And they have a big gold advantage. That 5k advantage turn. And Azubu Frost really building up their advantages against Taipei Assassins and winning the last 4 team fights.
If Taipei Assassins wants to win a fight, they have to get RapidStar out of the way. He is dying where he wants, he is getting where he wants to go, and TPA doesn't seem to have field control of these fights. That's really what it's been coming down to, and big lead now for Azubu Frost because they were substantially down in gold when they started winning team fights. Now that they have the Baron buff and a large gold lead and the Aegis of Legion and the Zeke's Herald, the team fight items coming in, it's going to be very difficult. TPA has to win these skirmish fights, and actually just take a look over at the Baron buff. Look at how many wards they had. That's one of the reasons they won that fight, because no matter where TPA tried to go, they couldn't lose vision of them. They tried to juke into brush, but all the brushes were taken up. They couldn't go around corners for field of vision. There's a little lesson there. Baron team fights, get wards out, because if you're looking to peel, you don't want people to go invisible.
They're going to dive up towards the Dragon here. It's going to be picked up within seconds for Azubu Frost. Woong, of course, very fed now. Sampling's going to come in, didn't quite get the steal, though, as Woong takes out. Down the top, though, Stanley's getting dived on here. Is he wanting to fight this, though? Shy getting onto him for once. A 1-6-8 Shy is actually forcing Stanley back, despite the fact Stanley is built so tanky.
And another difficulty for TPA in team fights is that Bebe's getting outranged and zoned by Woong. So even though he had an advantage early, he hasn't been able to push that because he can't get close to any of the targets he wants to. Even if he gets around the tank line, it's Woong that's going in on him. And now Azubu Frost are the ones doing the 4v4. They have Shy going off. They realize Stanley is the only diver. He's really the best frontliner for TPA, and since they can't match up their dive buddies with Lilballz and Stanley, they're struggling in teamfights to get to priority targets. This turret's going to be very difficult for them to hold just because of the flank potential from Azubu Frost coming around the back.
Yeah, Stanley versus Shy in that top lane, and honestly, you could see a Mumu come around the side and try and get in there, which is why you see Lilballz putting that ward just above. Mistake trying to cover it off. CloudTemplar trying to find a position. Shy getting taken down very low there and forced away by Stanley. Are they going to try and force something in the bottom lane? No. They're going to keep that standoff and just slowly but surely poke it off. They do manage to wall off a bunch of Azubu Frost, but honestly, Taipei Assassins do not feel they can win this fight. They need Stanley to join them, and it can't happen at the moment.
I think it's a matter of time until this turret goes down. If TPA were to engage on a 4-man Azubu Frost team with Baron, they would most likely lose. I'm surprised that Azubu Frost is backing off because it seemed like they could get that turret, but there it is. They knew Stanley could be coming up the back, and they didn't want to engage in a 4v5 even with Baron. So despite the 44 total kills in only 35 minutes, we do see a bit of cautious play finally coming out of Azubu Frost.
A big game experience, of course. We talked about it earlier on. Very much keeping a cool head here are Azubu Frost. Toyz continuing out to farm. Let's just have a look across the builds and the teams. I mean, how do you see this one playing out? At the moment, Azubu Frost winning every team fight. How do Taipei Assassins react to that?
On top of Azubu Frost winning all the team fights earlier, they've completed 2 Guardian Angels, so Shy and Woong both will have to die twice in the next fight, and TPA doesn't have one of their own. They need to be extremely cautious and almost hope that Azubu Frost dives a turret or does something silly. They have to focus around getting picks, and he's burning his ultimate. They're just diving through onto him. They're going to get him here.
They're going to get him. There's the crescendo, goes across the Karthus ultimate. Will be enough. RapidStar picks up the kill. They're going to try and push on Stanley as well, but instead they immediately divert their attention and go straight for that bottom turret. They have a creep wave coming in. They will take that inner turret down.
And Azubu Frost actually just pulled off what TPA would have needed to do, picking off a solo member. There's no way right now that TPA wins an even team fight, even if it's on top of a turret. They have to pull off something very creative. You can see Toyz is off getting blue buff, but this turret is going to be nearly impossible for them to hold. They only have 3 members, and Azubu Frost is flying in hard.
They're diving in here. Remember, they used a lot of ultimates to get in here, though, but they are taking the turret down very quickly. A flash from RapidStar, an exhaust on towards Mistake, but it wasn't enough. They do take the inhibitor down regardless, and they're going to back straight off this one. Stanley is trying to peek across, but Azubu Frost quite happily disengaged. That's going to be the true shot barrage going across, not really doing a great deal of damage across them. They do make a stun on towards Shy. Can they pick one up here? He has got a Guardian Angel, and Azubu Frost immediately turns to react. They're going to defend their comrade, and Stanley's trying to get in there. That's going to be the Curse of the Sad Mommy getting across, hitting the entire team, but Stanley is still in up there, and Woong is going to get taken down very low. Lilballz tries to get aggressive, but they disengage so quickly. They cannot catch up. That wall of pain goes across and effectively says, chase us if you will.
And that was a TPA fight where they had no AD carry. Bebe was still waiting for his death timer. It was a good repel. If they'd lost 2 inhibitors, the game would essentially be over. Overall, Azubu Frost, with that Baron buff, made very good use of it, getting the first inhibitor of the game and just extended their lead. None of their Guardian Angels have been popped. You can see they've been able to zone TPA out in team fights, and they really just have to continue doing what they're doing. With that long push, though, all their wards have actually dropped down, so this would be a moment for TPA to try to get a pick. They could take control of the area and hope to catch someone warding. But come 30 seconds from now, we see 5 wards out from MadLife. He's going to be littering that Baron area with wards because they know the spawn timer is going to be a couple minutes later since their Baron just did fall off. And this is actually maybe a bit of a pause for Azubu Frost because their next play is forcing around Baron.
It could well be their last play as well because Taipei Assassins up against it here. Stanley trying to draw something out, trying to bait something out, and the ping's coming out to back off. You do not want to go into towards the situation. Azubu Frost, of course, with all the ultimates available, are going to continue.
Oh, this might be what they need!
They got caught out Cloud Isn't enough though, he's just going to pop his ultimate. The Curse of the Sad Mommy comes out, he does get dropped. Have they got enough to try and continue, or will they just disengage very quickly? Shirelli is wherever he was, popped, and they do back away. Bebe with the ultimate just goes down to clear out those super minions.
More of that though for TPA. They caught CloudTemplar scouting and trying to ward, and the wall from Toyz completely split him away from the rest of the team. The unfortunate thing here, though, is Bebe had to go back to base to clear out those super minions with the inhibitor down. That's the worst inhibitor to have down when the Baron is up because it completely takes him as far away as possible in supporting the upcoming Baron fight. That Baron spawning in 20 seconds. You can see TPA is trying to take control of it, but without 5 members, they don't have the confidence to start any team fights. There's the death timer on CloudTemplar, and they might actually charge this, knowing that CloudTemplar won't be up for the very start of it. If there's a desperation play, this might be it.
And of course, without that Amumu ultimate, it may just give them that slight advantage they want in them 4v5 fights. But are they aware of the timer? It is now up. They will have vision of it, and CloudTemplar spawns. They are not in position to try and fight for it, and they're going to have to react and back off from this one. Taipei Assassins and Azubu Frost are going to be happy with that one. They realized that the danger they were in, but now they've got themselves back as a 5-man team, and they are in the stronger position, Jab.
And they can go wherever they want as long as they stay grouped up. When RapidStar's flashes up, though, it'll make them much more dangerous in teamfights because it allows his positioning with Defile to be even greater. He has that Void Staff, so most of the magic resist the TPA has isn't helping them very much. When that Requiem comes down, it's going to be devastating. They're clearing out wards, and they're actually looking to fight here. TPA is going to try to stop this because giving up the Baron would mean the game. But fighting Azubu Frost straight up 5v5 in a choke is also going to be a high chance of them losing it. They have to pull off something crazy here. They have to teamfight perfectly if they don't want to lose here. Stanley walking right through a ward. Azubu Frost displaying a lot of patience.
And they're hitting the axe across inside. Azubu Frost poking it. They don't have the vision though. Taipei Assassins desperately. Stanley's going to maybe try and pull something crazy out here. It's Woong they want, but he's got that Guardian Angel. He's got that damage, and of course RapidStar as well, poking it through.
Well, RapidStar is up pushing top, so Azubu Frost trying to engage.
They're trying to go for it, and they can see. They're going to come back. They've dodged on towards Stanley. Stanley's the one that wants to take the damage, and immediately he turns into the rest of Azubu Frost. There's the gun to the Sam Molly. RapidStar taken very low. They're going to use the Zhonya's Hourglass straight away. They can't manage to take him down. CloudTemplar will get dropped by Stanley. Immediately turned into Lilballz, takes down RapidStar. Stanley's going to get dropped. The counter. Oh, it's a triple kill for RapidStar. And now Woong and Shy should chase down Lilballz. And Shy gets the kill. And surely the game for Azubu Frost. We are 28-26. They're going directly for the Nexus turrets. Jack, what an amazing turnaround.
I thought that Bebe might be able to pull off the end of that fight, but the Requiem just destroyed him, and RapidStar picked up his 13th kill of the game. They're now pushing down onto this Nexus. This looks to be the end for Azubu Frost. They look to have the 1-0 advantage, and what an amazing way to open the World Finals. 54 kills, 42-minute victory.
What a fantastic performance there. 42-minute game and a lot of kills. That is the way to open up the Season 2 World Final. And Azubu Frost, despite the fact they lost out, I think they're about 9-3 down after the lane phase, they certainly turned it around. That big game experience shown through. There's the Summoner Cup. That is what they're fighting for. Taipei Assassins, we saw them get destroyed by Moscow 5 in that first match. They're going to have to pick themselves up just like they did.
Gotta play like they have nothing to lose, and honestly, that's kind of how they're playing in that game. All of the tower dives, all of the aggression, exactly what we expected to see from both these teams. They were trying to outdo each other, and they can't get dejected with themselves after just one loss. There's plenty more League of Legends for them to play. They still have to win 3 games. Azubu Frost still has to beat them twice more. And considering how strong Azubu Frost was in that, or Taipei Assassins was in that early game, they can't get down on themselves. There's very easy ways to turn this around for them because so many of these team fights were razor thin for them, and the slightest change could have granted them a victory.
And you know, I think back to the OGN Summer Finals, I think about what Loco Doka said, and he was talking about how Azubu Frost love the area of effect fights. They love them AE team comps, and that's why they picked. They went back to what they knew. It's something we've talked about throughout this tournament. Stick to what you know really well, and it worked so fantastically well for them.
And especially the Amumu pick coming out was something that I don't think TPA expected in all the games we've seen in this entire World Playoffs, World Finals. No Amumu. They picked the right time to bring out that surprise mummy.
The surprise mummy. He wasn't very sad either. Obviously picked up a good couple of kills. We're going to check out the replay just at the end of that game with the audio from Azubu Frost.
정리하면서 가야 돼.
페인. 나이스.
끝내. 요번에 끝내버려. 이래 밀어. 끝내. 형 바로 와.
Absolutely stunning stuff, and well, actually seemed a little bit chaotic in the comms there.
They celebrate not being chaotic because there was a really close team fight there. If that Requiem didn't finish off Bebe, Vayne gets close to unstoppable at that point with the Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, QSS, and an extra Zeal on top of that. He was really close to turning that fight around to the very last fight. That game was really close, so That's why the comms were chaotic. 42 minutes of chaos for them, and they were the ones that came out on top.
Yeah, and they have absolutely awesome team fights. So, put yourself in Taipei Assassin's mindset. They've just seen an Amumu come out. They weren't expecting it. How do you approach the picks and bans of the next match?
They almost have to stay somewhat the same. If anything, they're going to take away Karthus or ban in the way because they need to either play around it or just get rid of it. They picked a very dive, close together team fight. Even the Lulu and Vayne are short range AD carry combo. They didn't have the range and poke to deal with all that clump and all that front line. So they might take out Karthus, or they'll just pick a more mobile team so they don't get trapped in the file.
Or do you take away the Ezreal Sona comp, which, while they managed to deal with it, it also freed up the rest of the lanes because they had to focus on it so heavily.
That could be a possibility, but that wasn't really what they lost on. The Lulu Vayne did an extraordinary job going up against that poke, and they actually showed the strength of the TPA bottom lane. Some of the players did say that was one of their big advantages. Bebe and Mistake, such good synergy, and the mismatch there and the early game lead they took, it doesn't seem to be an issue for them giving away Ezreal.
So, from a Azubu Frost point of view, they've just come back from a really strong position. You know, they've won every team fight. Going into the next match, do they stick with the same type of build? Do they go with another AE build, some sort of strange build that they could pull out? Or do they go with some sort of poke comp, which we saw CLG use against the Azubu Frost?
I think they just try to counterpick. And Azubu Frost has, if anyone, shown as a generalist team. They've dealt with the turtle of CLG, they've dealt with the aggression of TPA, and they're very much about just trying to get the opponent on their heels. Whatever TPA comes out with, they're going to try to get back at them. The Karthus countered the close-range team of TPA, and whatever TPA comes out with is what Azubu Frost is going to try to counter. And really, that's what I think we'll see in Game 2.
Okay, and the pressure on the players obviously was pretty huge. I mean, we've come out. Do you think they're going to be settled now? I mean, they've got that one game out of the way, the first game, no matter whether they win or lose. Have they come into this situation and go, you know, we've just played a pretty crazy game of League of Legends? And we talked about Azubu Frost. I think it was Team WE. No, it was IG, the very first game of the day. Azubu Frost versus IG. And Azubu Frost said, you know, we really love the fact that they had that crazy back and forth game. They said, we haven't had that for a while. So both teams, I think, will feel, you know, comfortable. The fact that, yes, we did just lose in terms of Taipei Assassins, but they just played a pretty damn good game of League of Legends. Yeah, and with how aggressive they all came out, 54 kills, that is much more than I expected in the first game of the World Finals with all this on the line. You thought they were going to be more conservative, maybe be scared of the stakes. Neither team was scared to step up. Neither team was scared to team fight. And I think if they weren't settled in then, how many kills are we going to see in the second game? Because it would be nuts. I think they're good to go. Yeah, we hope they're good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're going to have the second game. We're just going to get a small commercial. And Game 2 of the World Finals. We'll be back right after this.
I think Azubu Frost is going to win the final. They might not have the best individual skill in the world, but they have the heart to win. It's just a gut feeling because they have really good teamwork and they don't give up. They keep fighting.
They certainly do keep fighting, and ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we're going to get underway in just a few moments. The teams are setting themselves up, and Jat, what a fantastic start for Azubu Frost. You know, Taipei Assassins are going to have that in their heads, the fact that we were winning the lane phase, but we lost the team fights. And that's just big for them. They are the best team fighting team left in this tournament, really. CLG EU, I think, was the best team fighting team, and they got knocked out due to just early game laning phase, maybe some other options there. So much of that game was just brawling. I can't believe how many kills we saw for them. And this is big for Azubu Frost because usually they lose the first game and then come back. But the fact that they've jumped out on top means they really have their feet under them. And I don't know what TPA can do to come back for it. They have to take the same, we don't care about what's happening, nothing to lose attitude, then they could go in for it. Yeah, and I mean, that's your opinion. Let's get another opinion, a rather professional opinion. Let's send it down to Rachel, who is standing by with Team Solo Mid's AP carry, Reginald.
Hey everybody, good to see you again. Much like the bat signal in the sky, you called for TSM and Reginald has appeared. We were in the back watching the game, and in the beginning it looked like Taipei Assassins was clearly ahead. You thought so yourself, so how did they get control of the game early on?
So TPA played phenomenal. Their counter ganks were really strong, very spot on. Every single time Frost tried to gank them, TPA would have their whole team there, counter gank them, and clean up the whole entire fight. And their early game was very solid, and I felt like they got complacent during the match.
So you said that that point where they got complacent was the turning point in the match. Azubu managed to step in and take a hold. So what exactly in being complacent did they allow Azubu Frost to do?
So TPA was really ahead, up in gold, up in towers, up in dragons, and up in kills. And what happened was they lost sight of dragon. They chose some very bad fights, and they chose to target Amumu. Karthus did crazy damage that game, if everyone saw. He got like a quadra kill, a triple kill, and what they did was they focused on Amumu every single time. They wanted to kill the Amumu before, so his ult would last less, right? Because if you kill Amumu, his ult no longer is there and it just disappears. And they would focus on Amumu every fight and ignore Karthus, and Karthus does like 5 times more damage than anyone on the team. So I think it was just bad focusing and a little bit of being cocky because they're winning so much early game.
Well, thank you so much for your insight. I'm going to send it back to Jat and D-Man at the casting booth. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and Reginald has an interesting point there. I mean, they did focus Amumu. They should have gone straight onto RapidStar instead of CloudTemplar.
The problem with that, though, is they didn't have the team to go through anything. If Vayne tries to go through Amumu, he's just going to get wiped out. And that is a good analysis by Reginald, but I don't think they had the team comp to do what they needed to do. And there was a lot of good counterpicking and just play by Azubu Frost, and especially CloudTemplar, putting himself in that position where he was the only choice to focus. He was so far ahead of his team at the start of a lot of those team fights, and once he landed his ultimate, everyone then followed up. But just the timing between it meant it cost him his life almost every time. I think that was just according to plan for almost both teams.
So the picks and bans underway, and Azubu Frost starting out the banning with Nidalee and Kog'Maw. Blitzcrank being banned out by Taipei Assassins once again. Something they did in the first match as well. How are they going to go? Is it interesting for me to see Kog'Maw being banned?
It's strange as well, and that could almost just be Azubu Frost not having the confidence against that. Maybe they haven't played against much Kog'Maw, and they realize maybe these games are potentially going late. Maybe Azubu Frost is just trying to pick better late game comps, and Kog'Maw is one of the best late game AD carries. That's could just be the laning, could just be TPA has a very strong Kog'Maw lane. It is a curious ban, and the RapidStar could have picked Anivia there, but it looks like they're going to go for Ezreal.
Again,
I expect TPA to take away Sona if they have Ezreal. They might not want to have that synergy. The team fight crescendos were very, very heavy.
Yeah, surely they cannot allow it. So same bans, I think, of last game, yes? No, Nidalee
the
wasn't
Nidalee
banned.
is a new ban.
Yeah, Nidalee is a new ban. So it hasn't been locked in yet, though, Ezreal. See if they do choose it. I'd be surprised. I mean, Woong does like Ezreal. Corki, of course, is available. Something you highlighted earlier on, has that slight advantage. But Ezreal has pretty much been the pick of the tournament that everybody has favored. Hasn't had the best win rate, though.
He was 100% pick ban, actually, up until the semifinals, where the teams did go away from him. So both of these guys realized they have the ability to play against Ezreal. Ezreal's kind of a luxury for these teams. They like having him, but he's not game-changing. And I think that is going to be a Sona that they get in to avoid that synergy. And I actually don't know what TPA is going to go for here, because they had a split push comp with Nidalee. But with that being banned out, they do have to be forced to almost group up unless Stanley has something else he can pull out that he's able to split push with. Azubu Frost liked all the 5v5 team fights in the last game, and they might be trying to force that type of composition again.
Remember, we did see Lux support, we've seen Zyra support, we've seen many different supports from MadLife, not forgetting Alistair available, one of his favorite champions. We saw him picking up a couple of kills, and there is the Sona pick, along with Lilballz taking Mundo. Definitely interesting pick, and immediately RapidStar gonna take up Anivia. Obviously, we saw Toyz with Anivia last time. RapidStar, we mentioned it in the start, he went from level 10 to 2,200 elo on Anivia alone.
He's the Korean Froggen in a lot of ways for Anivia, and known like that on the Korean servers. Lilballz only had victories on Maokai and Mundo this time. He had his first loss with Maokai in the last game, switching it up, saying, I'm just going to go with Mundo here, trying to keep his undefeated record going. I would expect that Anivia to be locked in. They don't want, well, they want the comfort from RapidStar and the control, especially after a Mundo pick. They can wall him off, they can stun him. Mundo has to walk straight into fights, so he's very easy to kite around if you have something like an Anivia. And they could be going for a very mobile comp if they go with these two picks. And that could just be on top of it. They might just be looking for global map presence and mobility.
So Shen being switched, and it is going to be Maokai locked in. And that is going to be CloudTemplar very happy that he's got his tree back. And it could be a Caitlyn poke alongside Sona. That works well. The Piltover Peacemaker, it's just as good as the Mystic Shot.
And these guys are actually taking their time with picks and bends. We've seen some much faster champion selects in the previous rounds. There's a lot of discussion going down, and TPA coming out, the unconventional AD carries, Caitlyn lock in, and we could see a Twisted Fate. Not sure, I haven't seen TPA play a Twisted Fate yet in this tournament. It's majorly just been banned out because Messiah from Team WE was so good at it. This would be their nothing to lose strategy, all in early, trying to gank other lanes. But they're just sitting on these picks, they're really talking it over, or they're just trying to mind game the enemy.
Well, Toyz isn't talking at all right there on your camera. He is switching to a Kassadin. What's he thinking of? He goes for Karthus. It's a
mirror matchup from what we saw last time, but different players on it. So even though this will be very telling because Toyz outlaned RapidStar, Anivia versus Karthus last time, and then RapidStar came in with the team fights on Karthus. It'll really be Toyz's time to display his skill if he can outlane him again and prove that it's not just a champion matchup thing. But they like the matchup back and forth, and that Zyra support would be huge. Going again for the heavy AoE team comps, nothing better than that gigantic knock-up ultimate from Zyra.
And Vladimir looking like he's going to be the top lane as well. And he's going to be picked up for Shy. We're just waiting to see whether it gets locked in, as it is. How would you build against this? I mean, we've seen the lane switching around. Ooh, Janna could come out there. Alistair may be coming out along with Singe. Let's see.
They're just toying with us right now, trying to go back and forth.
No, they're discussing it. I mean, you can see CloudTemplar, he's having a discussion. He's talking to his team. He's like, which do they feel is better? And Jax was being left available for Shy.
Oh.
And they've locked it in. It's going to be Zyra and Jax. We're going to get to see Shy's amazing Jax play. How will it work? And more importantly, what will Stanley counter it with?
And this is curious because they have so much AoE, and then they just have a Jax, who's an all-in champion, and they're just going to try to dive heavily onto Bebe, but he has to dive through Toyz's Karthus, and it could be really dangerous for them. It's really going to be about them trying to get AoE damage onto everyone, and then have Woong and Shy for cleanup, because they'll stay so safe in the back. The Caitlyn pick has to tell us something, though. Are they going for heavy poke? Are they going to just destroy the lane? Because last game, they had the Vayne Lulu that laned right up against Sona Ez, and nothing's a stronger AD carry laner than Caitlyn. They might just be looking for a fast push strategy, maybe Globals, and Stanley's been on Shen in the past here. Man, the last time they picked Karthus Shen, they did lose the game. That's both of these teams 0 for 1 with that composition, but they're going for it again. This is their nothing to lose strat. It's going to be pretty big for them.
Well, there's a lot of global play in there, of course, with the Karthus and the Shen ultimate. They're going to be diving down. They could multiple pile on, certainly the bottom lane or top lane, wherever they choose to go, especially with Bebe in play. We saw it very aggressive early on. How do you match these up?
And this is going to be a lot about early ganks coming out from CloudTemplar versus the early laning from TPA. That Caitlyn Sona lane, super high poke, is going to decide so much of this game. If they can obliterate Woong and get him out of the game, that's what they'll need to do. And the team fights, of course, coming out from Karthus, trying to get back the errors they made last game.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get underway. It is going to be game 2. Azubu Frost 1-0 up. If you would like to see them take a second game and clean sweep 2-0 into a possible 3-0, give them a cheer, ladies and gentlemen. Azubu Frost.
Now heading into game 2, TPA down 0-1. They need to win 3 of the next 4. If you want to see them take game 2, let them hear you.
So as we get into the game, there you see the stage, there you see the Summoners Cup. That is what they are playing for. Very sparkly, and I can assure you, it is also very heavy. It's a pretty huge thing as we are getting the game underway. So Taipei Assassins coming into this next match. They are
They're going aggressive level 1. TPA trying to hold this off. They do have a defensive formation. They're actually all grouped up around here. They have a ward on their blue buff. They're worried about Azubu's level 1. And they might just try to do something sneaky.
So Azubu Frost stood on top of a ward at the moment, so Taipei Assassins know exactly where they are. There goes the sapling showing Taipei Assassins in the bush. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, Azubu Frost 1-0 up as the blue side against Taipei Assassins as the red side. Currently, the invades seem to have backed off. Everybody has gone back their own way. Taipei Assassins still lingering though. We see CloudTemplar backing away. CloudTemplar teleporting off.
Yeah, and that was actually because he used so much of his mana scouting with his saplings, he had to go back to base if he wanted to have mana for his jungle, especially since it looks like they're starting red buff. he'll need to have mana left for his blue if they go for an invade. They did place that ward early, which tells me they might want to see a delayed invade possible, but it could get countered by the fact there's 2 wards on that blue buff. There's a lot of pings going down here, and it does seem to me that Azubu Frost has something kind of sneaky planned here. We'll see if they are able to execute it.
And Toyz taking away the major Wraith there. Very nicely done. As a level 1, getting that steal in. Took a bit of damage for his troubles. Is he going to go for a lane change though? He is heading south. This could be a Karthus down the bottom, or is he just going to go for the blue? I'm not too sure what is going to help out.
Oh, and this is actually a fast push mid strategy. We know they like taking the mid tower first early, and they're going to have Sona Caitlyn trying to 1v2 up against them, but they're counter switching, trying to get RapidStar into a 1v2 against Toyz. That's an extremely dangerous lane for both of them, and the ganks are going to be extremely impactful. But TPA, even with this matchup, should still win the mid lane. It's going to be a bit of a farm off though, and there'll be a lot of attention paid to that bottom lane since both those guys are extremely vulnerable to ganks.
So nothing coming in the jungles, but all going on in the lanes. Let's have a look, and you can see Lilballz picking up the blue buff. He's going to take it, and Taipei Assassins immediately switching things up. They're going to try and come around the backside of RapidStar. RapidStar maybe spotting it. He's going to back straight off, puts the ward in that tri-bush, and you can see Sona coming around. Going to have that poke. Stanley taken down very low by Shy there. Meanwhile, down the bottom, if we can just get a glimpse of Sona. Sona taking some damage from RapidStar, and again, the lanes trying to change their dynamic, and Karthus has gone back to the middle.
They're trying to swap really quickly here, and Lilballz actually sitting around at the Dragon. I think he's just trying to catch MadLife warding, and he might get him with a cleaver.
He's got a cleaver on in, he's flashed in, he gets exhausted instantly by MadLife, but they're going to turn it down. That's going to be first blood, and it's Bebe that picks it up once again. And now Karthus is heading north. He's actually going for the Wraith, to tell a lie, but he used the teleport but to get back in towards that mid lane.
And this is what TPA needed, jumping out at the start of this game. Woong trying to get punished. The back and forth lane swaps, TPA was ready for him. Amazing play by Lilballz there. He knew the patterns of supports and knew that once they swapped lanes, they had to get wards in the river. As soon as MadLife walked for that, he was able to catch him out with the cleaver. And that was, again, a brilliant gank play by Lilballz. He did that in the first game as well. And he might give his bottom lane the huge advantage it needs.
Yeah, Woong being zoned out a little bit here by mistake. Level 2 versus Bebe at level 3 already. Going to try and keep him down. Of course, that wave will get pushed in towards the tower, so there's only so much they can try and zone him. We do see CloudTemplar coming around just above. Is he going to be able to sneak through that tri-bush? I'm pretty sure there was a ward that went down in that bush earlier on. Yes, it is. They've just passed straight by that ward, and the sapling goes down. Mistake just clearing that one out. That will get reset the lanes. Let's take a look at this top lane. We can see Lilballz heading there right now. Jax versus Shen.
And Shy does not have any wards here, but he's positioned fairly defensively in his lane. They might end up burning a flash here, but he senses something. Stanley gave a bit of a tell. He pushed up where he wouldn't normally, and Shy's playing very carefully here. Lilballz now going back down. His Wraith's completely getting sacrificed for Toyz, and going into that mid lane, this is Toyz' crazy laning skills coming into play again. 34 minions to 18 of RapidStar. That lane swapping, he was one step ahead and gave him an early lead. Now he's just trying to punish RapidStar with it.
The clever player CloudTemplar there. You can see thrown a sapling at the wolves. He's trying to get the timers going down, trying to keep the position of Lilballz. We know that he's at the top there, just taking the golems. He's going to come around. Shy is just going to get pushed against his tower. Instead, Lilballz looking like he may go for the invade of his own. He heads down towards the middle. We can see CloudTemplar just stepping off at the side there, trying to go towards Toyz. Toyz, of course, very vulnerable, as Lilballz going for the wolves, and they're both counter-invading each other's wolves.
They're just both trying to get scouting information, and they are right on top of each other, same level. Lilballz going with his Doran Shield Mundo build once again. Very effective in the previous games. And even just Stanley's aggression in the top lane is keeping him in it. Oftentimes Jax can be very aggressive trades 1v2, but he sensed Lilballz was there, and it's allowed Shen to push up the tower. Now Lilballz trying to gank around RapidStar, and CloudTemplar again trying to get bottom. He got spotted out by the end of that ward. Lilballz just trying to zone RapidStar at a mid.
Yeah, he steps onto a trap, actually, I think it was. Straight on Caitlin's trap. RapidStar immediately aware. So they know the jungler's positions. They're going to try and counter this one. Taipei Assassins getting poked off and this heavily here on this bottom lane. Woong doing a lot of damage down on towards Mistake there. MadLife again, the poke from these two. How do you rate these two lanes between them? I mean, obviously we've seen the Ezreal Sona, so much to the power in that lane, but Caitlyn Sona versus Zyra Ezreal.
And this is that support Zyra that Azubu Frost actually were the first ones to play. MadLife, a lot of experience on it. It's all about the team fighting phase, but you can actually get extremely aggressive with Zyra in the lane. Mistake wants to be high, heavy, and strong with the poke. But Bebe gets caught up by the root. You can see the aggression that comes down. 2 plants getting spawned, and Bebe getting zoned out right away.
Getting pushed heavily there, and MadLife managing to put a lot of damage down on him, forcing him back. Is he going to go back off? Yes, he will. He's going to have to buy. He will not be able to stick around. Of course, Sona had gone back. We are seeing the top lane trading blows as well. Jack's down to about half health there. And Toyz now heading south. Are they going to go for invaders? Is it just going to be simply be the Wraiths, or are they going to
try a 4-man gank down at the bottom here? You can see that Azubu Frost had pushed up, and since Bebe went back to base, you thought maybe they were going to try a tower push, but they're also playing conservatively, and they had to walk back out. They decided against that one. Lilballz spending a lot of time trying to countervade and create things. He's falling a bit behind for himself. He's only level 4 at 7 minutes, and giving a level or experience edge to CloudTemplar's Maokai could be dangerous. Every time CloudTemplar's had a level advantage on an enemy jungler, he's pushed it really, really hard, and if they get some kind of successful gank, it could be very dangerous for TPA.
Yeah, and in the middle, we're seeing a huge CS advantage already building by Toyz. Toyz 63 to 42. He's got a 20 CS difference. And the top lane, Stanley versus Shy, there's a 10 CS difference there. Stanley's starting to build a lead as well. So these lanes actually going out quite well for Taipei Assassins. You can see that reflected in the gold advantage already built up.
And this is what they need, because Azubu Frost has went with a very strong AoE team fight, late game team, and TPA is a lot more about laning. Karthus is the kind of the other thing that will be their late game insurance if they can get there, but for the most part this is a composition revolving around early game pressure, and that's what they're applying right now. They've got the 1 early kill, but mainly just outlaning. 1,500 gold advantage is very high for this point in the game, and they are keeping the pressure down on everyone from Azubu Frost across the map.
Toyz picking up the blue buff for himself. RapidStar yet to go across, but CloudTemplar will pull it. Down that bottom lane, Woong, you can see with that double Dorans against the single Dorans and Vampiric Scepter for Bebe. Bebe trying to continue that poke with Mistake's help, and they're going to get a couple of hits on the tower, the first few hits for the bottom lane. So neither team, able to really fast push either turrets. The top lane, I think, seems to be the one where the turret may go, because you can see Shy being very aggressive on it.
And I really just have to hand it to Toyz in the mid lane here, because last game he was substantially ahead of RapidStar with the opposite matchup, and now he's just 34 minions ahead, Karthus versus Anivia. He is outplaying RapidStar for the most part in this matchup. RapidStar trying to get in for the race, but Toyz is just completely keeping them for himself. He's going to be the fed Karthus here, and if they can turn the team fights around on Azubu Frost, like what happened to them last game, they'll be in good shape, especially with how strong they're laning.
Yeah, and of course he's been stealing away RapidStar's rates as well, so he's getting a grand share of both lanes. As it is, remember he had to use, did you start off down that bottom, did use the teleport, he has got that teleport available should it require it later in the team fights, something that Azubu Frost do not have, not to mention of course you've got Stanley's ultimate that can get himself in there. Bottom lane, there's Toyz, now he's taking away the wolves. Is he leaving anything for Lilballz? Lilballz meanwhile in the top lane is forcing the pressure on towards Shy, does keep him back there, and that's going to be a lane push from Lilballz, which I'm not sure if Stanley's going to be quite happy with that.
I think they're okay. They're trying to create a lot of pressure onto Shy, and this is Lilballz's and TPA's overall team strategy. Because they're giving so much farm to Toyz, they don't want Mundo to fall behind, which means he does have to leech experience from other sources. He is about going for lanes. He's level 7, which means he isn't behind despite getting everything for Toyz. It's actually much more efficient when 2 members get experience in lanes than just 1. With that just push, he's put himself ahead of CloudTemplar, which is extremely important since we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, and again, that mid lane, it's just the advantage continues as the crowd still cheers those ward kills. Of course, the Oracle's now been bought, picked up by CloudTemplar. They're clearing out that mid lane. Lilballz not quite with that Oracle yet. Gotta be careful he doesn't walk straight into it. Here comes the ultimate. It's actually the capital. So where is it going? Is it just pressure on MadLife? Are they just trying to force the turret here? You can see Bebe immediately with that wave, trying to put as much pressure down as possible. Not exactly sure where that ultimate came out though.
They're just trying to push down the turret. They're making it not appealing for Azubu Frost to stay there in fear of dying. It forced MadLife to go back, and it forced CloudTemplar to run to the bottom lane, which essentially makes them safe from ganks. They're just trying to push down this turret as fast as possible. They want to get out of this lane and apply their pressure elsewhere. A little confusing on the use of that ult, but I'm pretty sure it was about the fast push.
Yeah, Shy also taking some damage. CloudTemplar was forced to go down there, and there was half the health stripped off that turret. So on that regards, it definitely worked out, but it's a little confusing when we're closing in on the dragon fight, potentially coming in a minute or two's time. So it's 180 seconds on that cooldown. Stanley just getting stunned out with a counter strike from Shy there, and you can see already empowered strike doing a bit of damage to Stanley. And you know, despite the fact they're even in the farm, the Fed Jacks will be a very, very dangerous thing late game.
And this is something Stanley does on Shen. He'll get the Cage's lucky pick as well as the Heart of Gold. He really just likes to get to the late game and make sure he's extremely powerful with all that split push. He had an early edge on Shy, but I think because he went with that double GB10 as Lilballz takes out another ward, he's getting bullied a bit by Shy, and that's why Shy's been able to sit up and camp him in that top lane. It is dangerous if Shy's able to force a team fight before Stanley gets his items. Azubu Frost would have an edge off of that. But Toyz still farming, still stealing rates, 124 to 94. Both teams of the Oracles now just taking down each other's wards.
It is a battle for wards. Many wards died on the Saturday. And it's been reflected in the crowd's appreciation. It is all across the map. Which also, of course, means there's not really going to be anything coming from this because they are completely spotting each other's positions out. Of course, Requiem will be available in about 30-40 seconds time. So let's see if Taipei Assassins do try and push something on this bottom turret. We are coming into 12.5 minutes, so they want to take this first turret down as much as they can, and of course then turn things onto the Dragon. Taipei Assassins definitely appear to be the team trying to push the pace on Azubu Frost.
And this is something that TPA may have taken from Team WE. You can see Lilballz is just down there trying to pressure the lane, making Azubu Frost react to them, and that's why CloudTemplar just spent his entire game walking around and hoping Lilballz ganks and tries to counter gank. Will they walk into one here? He's coming out for RapidStar, trying to land a cleaver. RapidStar looks like he's just going to walk away.
Toyz taking a bit of damage there, but you can see that he's 40 CS ahead of RapidStar in that mid. And that is a big, big difference, considering they've effectively been 1v1 throughout it with zero help from the junglers. How is that gold laid? You can see the gold stacking. It is a small difference. Wow, it's a light, it's a 700 gold difference. That's a pretty huge difference in the grand scheme of things. And more importantly, Bebe is leading once again as the AD carry.
And this is across the board. They are out farming. Even Lilballz, despite deferring so much farm to Karthus, has a minion kill edge on CloudTemplar. They need to force a team fight almost at some point because their laning phase is coming out big. Once they kill a tower, they're going to try to create action on the rest of the map. Azubu Frost is very much in stall town right now. TPA doing a fantastic job farming, especially Toyz. This is a huge score for 13 minutes, 156 minions, and as you said, really going to get that item advantage soon.
Maybe he's going to go for Froggen's record. Let's see.
In the World Finals.
In the World Finals. That would be pretty ballsy play. He got the ability to go for it. Shy being aggressive on towards Stanley again there, but Stanley would quietly back away. And we're seeing Woong, of course, taking away those golems in the bottom there. RapidStar trying to put a bit of pressure on towards that turret. We're seeing both lanes all taking a bit of a harassment here.
Lilballz coming around the back.
Shy is going to get pushed, and Stanley's trying to bait it in there. Has he going to go for the taunt there? Shy is just going to be let to back away. Didn't want to go for the engagement. Wasn't really sure. Spotted RapidStar heading up the river there. Shy pulling the ward down. And we are seeing that bottom lane. They are very low. The Karthus ultimate not coming out. The sniper's going to come across. That's going to catch MadLife. Here comes the Karthus ultimate. They might get a double kill. No. A heal from Woong. They saved one, but that's going to be the kill of the top lane, the bottom lane, sorry. Here we see Toyz going in towards that. There's a teleport from Toyz. Wall of Pain not quite landing, but RapidStar's going to get...
Oh, Shen too!
The Remaster blitz goes in, and that's going to be Shen coming across. They're going to try and get out towards Shy. RapidStar's going to get dropped. Can they take Shy down as well? They do! And it's 3 kills. Meanwhile, down the bottom, there's another trade.
That's an ace!
It's the Soda going down. They've managed to ace them 15 minutes in with nothing happening for 15 minutes. They suddenly pull off the ace all across the map.
And they take down a turret on top of everything, so that 2,000 advantage just ballooned to 5,000. Toyz was the key to all that. Karthus ultimate to start it, teleport into finish, and that is across the board coordination by TPA. Almost too hard to follow, and you can tell it caught Azubu Frost completely off guard.
It caught me off guard as well, I've got to be honest. 2-0-2 for Toyz, 3-0-1 for Bebe, 0-1-4 for Sona, and wow. The assists and gold spreading across, which suddenly gave them that huge boost in gold. You can see it is a 6,000 gold lead. Obviously, they built up a big lead to start with from picking up all the CS. They do manage to force down that bottom turret. They're going to pick up the Dragon. That is going to give Taipei Assassins another huge lead. Can they deal with it this time, though? Azubu Frost, they had this last time, and Azubu Frost had the team come to deal with it. Can they push the pressure on Azubu Frost?
This is a much larger lead than last game. And now that they've taken the first turret down, the siege from BB's Caitlyn, especially that he has the big lead onto Woong. Now he will outrange Ezreal, and he will be the one zoning him out in team fights, unlike the Ezreal versus Vayne matchup in the last one. They need to be careful that Shy doesn't get too big because he has been farming quite well and he's going to try to split push this top turret, but everyone is converging onto him and he has no flash.
They're trying to collapse on him, but he's going to be leap striking straight away from that one. Shy was not going to get caught out, spotted them early enough. Have they realized that Mistake is in that tri-bush? Was there a ward just below? I can't quite catch it. No, there wasn't. So it's just his spider senses ding being. They're going to take down this mid turret Azubu Frost though. Now Wall of Pain is not going to be enough to force them away. They will finish it off and Woong getting the damage done. And they will back away. You could see that Stanley was heading straight up north, but getting spotted by that ward.
Bebe's got to be careful up here in the top lane. If MadLife lands a root, they will be able to kill him.
Oh, and there he went through. Bebe baiting it out there, doing a bit more damage. And as Taipei Assassins now turning a push of their own, they're not going to have the minions though to do the damage. While this is all happening, Stanley getting the free farm down the bottom. You can see Woong is going down there to try and deal with him. So now we have a different dynamic. We have Stanley versus Woong in the bottom, and we have Shy versus Bebe in the top.
And the push from TPA is going to be coming out hard, but Azubu Frost has that Anivia, which is legendary for her turtle capabilities. And top lane is just getting pushed down by Bebe.
Shy actually took a hell of a lot of damage there, took a lot of punishment from Bebe, and Bebe really is dominating that top lane. You can see that Shy's had to back away from it. Bebe has got a wave coming in. He may be able to take that turret down, you know. He's completely unattested on that top lane. Meanwhile, the mid lane's also being pushed. Azubu Frost having to deal with it, and Bebe will take down this top turret.
And he is 2,000 gold ahead of Woong on the other side, so they have a big advantage that they do need to press. We saw them take an early Baron in some of these earlier matches, and since it's so hard to push turrets against Anivia, they might look to force around objectives. That middle turret is being very well held by Azubu Frost. That's going to be the next thing TPA wants to group up and take. It's so difficult to push into an Anivia, but they do have now a 7.3 thousand gold advantage, and this is the moment they need to just pounce. Last time, they had that advantage growing and growing, then they hit everywhere on the map at once, getting that huge lead. Now that Channel's up again, now that Requiem's up again, they might look to do something similar again.
Well, that 30% gold advantage they have over Azubu Frost definitely equates to the items. You can see them are nearly completing things. Infinity Edge almost already completed by Bebe.
And he has the gold for it. It's just a matter of him going back. He's going to actually be able to complete an Infinity Edge and a Zeal once he gets back, which is crazy since Woong only has that Phage and he's still a ways away from a Trinity Force. They're now, like they did last game with the advantage, pushing in the blue buff very hard. And RapidStar, without a blue buff, cannot turtle add Infinity in the middle, so they will be able to push down that mid turret fairly shortly.
Hit and run damage done by Taipei Assassins. They're taking away that blue buff very quickly, and now a 60 CS difference between Toyz and RapidStar. Very huge lead on Karthus. And that ultimate, like you mentioned earlier on, it is going to be doing some serious damage. A 2,000 gold lead on both carries. In fact, all the carries, because you can see Stanley, even in the top lane, has a 2,000 gold advantage over Shy, which is something I don't recall ever seeing. Considering Shy has been able to get on Jackson, his Telltale champion, he steps on a trap there, and Bebe immediately pounces and tries to put a chunk of damage down on towards Shy. The Taipei Assassins being very aggressive in that top lane. They need to be careful. They're going to try and catch off. They have to use the crescendo to get away, but a mistake may well pay the price for this one. The Zyro ultimate. They're going to dive in. Bebe needs to back away. He just needs to accept the fate here. There comes the Shy. Toyz also teleporting in. Taipei Assassin trying to turn this one. Can they get anything straight in there? No. You can see Azubu Frost very much backing off very, very quickly there. Really good disengage.
That was fantastic for Azubu Frost. They actually burned the majority of TPA's engagement tools with a huge disadvantage, got away with the kill, and nobody died. So the resources that actually expended is going to be huge. That makes it very difficult for TPA to force something immediately. Even then, they didn't even get that low, so they might be able to hold the mid turret as well. That was huge for them, and Lilballz getting poked down pretty heavily in the mid lane. Azubu doing a really good job turtling this out last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, Lilballz ultimately being forced to be used there again, so any ultimates used, only the Requiem and the Galen ultimate available. Galen, of course, is going to be on a much quicker cooldown, but they do not want to burn that Requiem. I thought he might come out in the last fight, but there was nobody really low enough to go for it. And Bebe again finds himself a lane, and it is against Shy again, and he's just going to continue farming out.
And he's getting really scary right now. Infinity Edge Zeal compared to Woong's only Phage and a Sheen. So he can just pretty much destroy anyone he goes up to. TPA now trying to push in the mid lane.
Bot lane.
They're going to need to push this mid lane in before turrets, and Shy's trying to camp. I don't think he can beat Bebe in a duel.
Yeah, Shy's thinking about it, and Bebe's pretty sure there's someone there. Didn't take a peek though, and instead Shy has actually backed out of that fight, didn't want to get involved. But of course, he had the Toyz ultimate, so he could have had a dual combo straight away. They've been able to get in there, do a heck of a lot of damage. So we are seeing Stanley versus Woong on that top lane, but meanwhile in the middle, Taipei is going to try and push this one. They may have a decent wave to try and get the poke on towards the turret. It's not going to be enough because RapidStar clears it out. That's going to be Lilballz forced to flash out of there. Bebe was coming up. They wanted to get that turret down, but they didn't quite have the damage. And Lilballz nearly getting caught out. Dragon is up in 12 seconds, so the teams will start positioning for this. You can see Stanley's ultimate just about available.
And this is the struggle for Azubu Frost. They're too weak to start team fights, so if they go in on this Dragon, they're going to most likely lose the fight. They're all about turning that middle turret, and TPA taking the objectives when they're available, but really all the attention needs to be on the middle turret for them, because as long as Azubu Frost holds that mid turret, TPA won't be able to close out this game. They are extending their advantage, however, and with that, all the team fights will go in their favor. They do have to find a way to create action, though, because with the big lead, it means nothing if you can't kill towers.
You can't kill towers. They do have a 2-to-1 advantage. They have a huge gold lead, 9k difference now. Well, Taipei Assassins, which this early on is massive. Stanley, of course, is going to start split pushing, start farming, start causing problems for Shy in that top lane. But Shy, they need to be very careful of him because he's just going to get that free farm going. He's going to become a beast if they manage to drag the game out, which is what they're trying to do. Azubu Frost, they realize they're in that stall position. They need to do what CLG EU can do so successfully with Anivia. And Azubu Frost, you know, having beaten CLG EU twice, which I'm sure they won't like me reminding them, they have that ability. They know how to play against it. They've seen that tactic work against them, so they know how to execute it. Again, here you see Toyz trying to get aggressive on towards MadLife. MadLife just backing away. There's a lot of damage coming across there. Didn't bother using Ace in the hole. They're going to keep pushing the pressure down. They might be able to get them towards the turret here because Bebe is incredibly strong right now.
And they're just trying to poke down as much as possible to make it so they can't turtle the turret, but Anivia's wave clear is so great that they've still got 2/3 health on that turret. They've spent the last 6 or so minutes paying a lot of attention to that mid turret, and they haven't made progress, so they have to switch something up or consider diving or creating some big action. Those walls are dangerous for TPA. They got about another third of the turret there, so they are finally making progress. This is a very effective turtle thus far by Azubu Frost. TPA really has to create something.
Well, they've just warded out, almost like they're going to go for Baron here. I'm just going to put that out there. That's looking like they're trying to force a fight here.
The objective control could be the things they go for. They've been able to get down Dragons, and they know that they win 5v5 team fights, so if they can force Azubu Frost into them, they'd be able to turn, and you can take turrets once you kill RapidStar. It's just a matter of getting him in a spot. The blue buff's up again. They look to want to go for this one, but they contested so many blues. They're trying to steal this. Oh, RapidStar just able to get it off.
Yeah, he tried to get the Q in there. Wasn't able to. They're trying to pin off Lilballz. They do back it off. That shows their hand. And they wanted that, but it wasn't available to them. Meanwhile, Bebe continues the farm. He's heading down south. He's going to take down that huge wave down south, which means Azubu Frost realized they've stalled it out for another few minutes.
And even with this stall, TPA is doing a very good job to make sure they're getting more gold than Azubu Frost. In their semifinal game against Moscow 5, there was a new cog on Moscow 5, and they were very much about getting it to late game. But once it got to 40 minutes, there was a 16,000 gold advantage for TPA, which meant they could just roll through them in team fights. They're trying for the same thing here because they have a 9,000 gold lead, and it's only getting bigger as this game moves on. As long as they don't make mistakes, they should be able to take out the late team fights. But they still have to find that option of how they create, because they have the gold lead, they have the team fight advantage, they just have to find the upper hand of positioning.
Well, Bebe is going to become a beast here. He's going to go back. Phantom Dancer almost certainly going to get completed. He's teleporting back right now. Let's see what he comes out with. No.
Last Whisper.
Goes for the Last Whisper instead, just has that Zeal in there. So once that armor penetration in, there's another ward. Gets lost in the ever and never-ending fight of League of Legends. The ward count, I would love to see that. You know, we saw the info stats. I'd love to see how many wards have died.
There were 80 kills in that one 60-minute CLG versus WE game, and that was just on CLG's side. Been many wards killed this. I wouldn't say there's quite as many because TPA is yet to start poking around Baron, but they should look to do that soon. They have so many items coming out on Bebe. The item advantage is never going to be this disparaging for him. Having that Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, and Zeal compared to just a Trinity Force and double Doran's Blade on Woong is massive. Even after that, you look at Toyz. He's going for the same item build as RapidStar, but he's completed his Rod of Ages and a Nilsi Large Rod on top of that. They look to try to finish off this mid turret, but they are actually playing very, very cautious. They can't seem to land quite the right Karthus wall. They can't get quite enough poke out. This turret has been up forever.
And It's a 2,500 gold between the top lane as well. Stanley now got that Ionic Spark, got the Aegis of Legion, now building that Trinity Force up just against Shy's Trinity Force. However, Shy really only needs that Trinity Force if he can get by himself a little bit of time to jump in there, get that counter strike off, and obviously Bebe is going to be the target. The question is, can he get onto Bebe successfully? Can he get kept away from him? Of course, he's going to have a lot of tools in there. He's going to be jumping almost certainly into a crescendo. Instead, he'll be covering off his AD carry as much as possible. And that mid lane continues slowly to get chipped down.
And in these kind of games, when there's low action, the action seems to explode and just all happen at once. And it also has a huge, huge impact because now that we're already 27 minutes into the game, the death timers are getting longer and longer. And if there's a team fight off the end of it, there will be more and more objectives taken. If someone wins a team fight big here, they're going to take Baron and multiple turrets. It's just a matter of TPA getting into this point where they can do that because Shy is 1v1ing Stanley up in that top lane. They can't quite get down on that. They still have to create action, and when they do get action, there's going to be a lot of it, so be ready.
Azubu Frost trying a little bit of poke here. Maybe trying to force something out there. I'm not too sure whether they're in the right position. I think they're trying to keep Stanley busy so they could try and get a 4v4, but you can see Toyz down that bottom. He's pushing on towards the inner turret now. There comes the True Shot Barrage. That will clear out most of the wave. And they will continue the poke battle from an 8-kill game to a 54-kill game last match. It's definitely a contrast.
TPA, much different style coming out here, and it's about just laning. And when they clashed into all those team fights, they realized they didn't have the team fight team. This time they also realize they don't have the team fighting team, so they're not crashing into fights as much as they were last match. Instead, they're just focusing on getting that gold advantage up. It's 9,600 here, and when they take that tower, it's going to hit double digits. Well, 5 digits if you count all of them, but Dragon up, they're going to take that. So many objectives here, and they're really just waiting until Azubu Frost comes out to fight them. They do seem content just farming.
They're going to pick up the Dragon. It's going to be for free. Azubu Frost won't contest that one. And Stanley and Shy continue to farm out that top lane. And the gold advantage now 11,000 in favor of Taipei Assassins. They are 1 game down, 29 minutes into this game. And the solo lanes really continue to just farm, quite happily keep up. There is a huge difference in gold between the carries at the moment. 10,900 shy of 11,000 compared to just shy of 8,000 for RapidStar. That is a huge difference. And of course the AD carries, there's a 2,500 gold difference. The top lane, the bruisers, there's a 2,500 gold difference. It is pretty substantial on the right players.
And I'm going to say this, Bebe is remarkably scary, and he's only going to get scarier. Late game Caitlyn is very underestimated, but having 650 range makes her extremely, extremely hard to close on, and the fact that he has just been completely free farming on top of getting 3 kills and all those dragons. He's a couple hundred gold away from a Phantom Dancer, and that's almost a full 80 carry build in 30 minutes. That is immensely powerful for TPA, and once they get that Phantom Dancer, I wouldn't be surprised with a death cap on Toyz as well if they then go to fight around Baron, because Azubu Frost is nowhere close to that item threshold, and that's going to be really big for TPA if they get to those items and then force a Baron.
All wards lose their lives. You can see right now that Toyz has just completely cleared out that bottom wave, and they seem quite content to keep farming that top lane. I can't tell whether it's Stanley quite happily just holding out the lane or whether Shy is forcing them to stay in that lane, because they just want Shy to get stronger late game.
And this is really just item thresholds, I think. All the big items are starting to get completed for TPA, and then they'll create action. Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper. Trinity Force just got completed on Stanley. There's another 80 gold. Toyz is going to have his death cap the next time he goes back to base. We could see some action very shortly because they just hit a ton of premiums, and they are really rich right now in comparison to Azubu Frost.
So let's see if they do create some action. You can see MadLife trying to cover off the Baron there, but it is a huge, huge advantage. Lilballz trying to take down RapidStar's Banshee's Veil before that fight was potentially going to happen, but we are seeing Toyz heading towards the blue. He will have the cooldown as the ward coverage continues to get dropped. But still yet to take down this middle turret. I mean, it's almost like they're keeping it up for a reason. They could easily just tank it down at any chosen moment, but they're not going for it right now. Ooh, Stanley wanting to get on towards Shy there, and Shy just leaps back into his own minions. They will force the pressure. Lilballz is trying to sneak around the side, but again, unable to push anything on Azubu Frost. They're stalling out quite well here.
And here comes the Baron sweep. They have enough damage that they could take down Baron very fast, and they could also peel very well. The danger for them in team fights is if RapidStar is able to isolate a member of their team with his wall. But with what they're doing right now, they're waiting for that blue buff timer to spawn. They're going to try to take that, and they're just flanking around Azubu Frost, trying to poke them down before this. And wow, just the one ultimate from Caitlyn taking RapidStar to a third, and they're trying to initiate right off here.
They tried to dive into it, the wall of pain getting across. Actually, RapidStar's getting shredded pretty low, but they're not going to go full engagement here. CloudTemplar might get dropped. They do target him, but they do not go for it. Stanley, that taunt, if that would have landed on anyone, it would have been the death of them. The Taipei Assassins were very much ready for that, but you saw the burst damage going on towards Toyz there. He was forced to back off.
They need to just force around Baron because that middle turret is not giving an inch. And they poke down Azubu Frost fairly lowly, so they're just waiting for Azubu to try to get them off Baron. They should be going for an objective here because they're so strong that if Azubu Frost comes to peel, they'll be able to get rid of them. And here, they're starting the Baron. Azubu Frost has to contest. TPA needs to peel.
TPA go across there. They might take it down before they react. Yes, they do. They took it incredibly quickly. Can they try to get on 20? Do they want to get on 20? That's the question. Are they happy with that? Now they can just push the towers. And they quite help a straight up fight here. You can see Lilballz. He wants to catch up to it. Good stuff from RapidStar, keeping them away. And they will start pushing it. Taipei Assassins surely can push the advantage finally on this middle turret.
If they have an initiate, it's going to be from Stanley with a flash taunt because that is their way of getting in. And they are so much stronger than Azubu Frost right now. Look at that poke. This turret going to fall. I don't know how long Azubu can turtle itself because they're really weak. Look at that damage.
And the crescendo missing there from a snake there. I think the Banshit's Veil didn't even get blocked there. RapidStar managing to get away from that one. Wait, he went for it there. Maybe he's trying to catch out Woong, I don't know. But you can see Taipei Assassin's going to try and push that big advantage. That tower is getting dropped in seconds. They're going to continue pushing forward. Nice in the hole onto Woong there, managing to force him backwards. They could tank this one out. Stanley has the damage, has the tower. Defensive, and of course Lilballz, we know how long that ultimate is going to last. He has popped his ultimate. He wanted to go for it. They dive on towards CloudTemplar. There's the Counter's ultimate. Is it going to be enough damage? They're going to try and push something here, but Shy is going to get involved. They do not have the damage to try and beat back. The Taipei Assassins slowly but surely beating them down. MadLife having to use the ultimate there. They're going to take the inhibitor to it down. Stanley just missing a max range taunt on Shy there. They keep getting forced back, but they cannot force and repel Taipei Assassins. They take down the inhibitor for free. Nobody dying though, and they just back off.
That was a very impressive push by TPA. They brute forced their way right through Anivia, and with those item thresholds, now they have even more armor onto Lilballz and Stanley once they go back. Everyone was over 1,500 gold, only going to extend their lead. They took that from the outer turret to the inhibitor straight. The Baron buff is still over half remaining for TPA. They're going to do that to another lane, and it's on Azubu Frost to initiate because TPA has actually shown they can just brute force their way through and get things done. Azubu Frost has to stop something, otherwise they're just going to let TPA win the game.
So Azubu Frost, they came back from the last match. They are still at 6-2 in kills. It has definitely been a low kill game, especially in comparison to the last one, where we saw 54 kills. But 5-1 in turrets shows that Taipei Assassins learned from their mistakes in the last match. Excuse the pun. But they did manage to pick up. They drove home a huge advantage here. And just looking across the board, the item build, they have such huge, enormous benefits. The ability power across the Taipei Assassins pick up the dragon, no problem at all there. Gold advantage continues, 15,000 gold now, big difference.
And now they're just going to try that same push they did mid onto the bottom lane. Randwin's Omen on Lilballz. He can tank that turret for quite a long time, and there's no one there to defend it. So the siege, if it happens, is going to happen at the inhibitor turret because this outer one is going to be gone uncontested.
Shy is completely well away from this one. They're going to lose the inner turret. They might even lose the inhibitor turret before he even gets close. Shy is still in that top lane. Hasn't reacted to the Taipei Assassins push it because he knew that Stanley was not there. He's trying to deal with it. He's got super minions coming up the middle. It's a straight 4-on-4. This is what we talked about earlier in the game. They have that 4-on-4 fight, and they can just keep driving in. Super minions in that middle. Where is Stanley heading? Stanley wants to take the inner turret. Taipei Assassins just baiting this one out.
And this is no teleport or way of actioning against Stanley's split push. Shy cannot even 1v1 him at this point. So if he wants to ult in and create a 5v4, he will be able to. They're just going to slowly make sure they get as many turrets as possible here. They might actually go to flank around. It's so hard to push in against Anivia, but with the middle inhibitor down, if Lilballz and Stanley actually came through the mid inhibitor and flanked around the side, they could very well get this bottom turret. They're not doing that quite yet because they're trying to split push this down. But if they actually want to create, I'd expect them to do that.
So they're just stalling it out. He saw Toyz just going back, picking up the Void Staff as well. So all that armor penetration, all that damage. could just come
Look
down
at
in
the
one
poke.
huge Requiem strike, and look at that. They're just keeping him here. It is just a 3-man poke, keeping Azubu Frost completely pinned off. Stanley, meanwhile, he's going to find, actually he's on the walls, he's having a fight with Shy here. Shy's going to have to back off from this one. I don't think he's got the damage to deal with Stanley right now, and you can see he's definitely going to have the huge advantage. Of course, Requiem will be available to him. Meanwhile, start to poke with Shy, definitely going down. Here comes the Requiem. Stanley's going to flash, he's going to be down. Stanley picks up the kill, and will that turn the advantage for Azubu Frost?
Stanley can still walk into the team.
And Taipei Assassins, are they going to go for the turret here? There's the ultimate from Lilballz. Will they go towards it? Here comes the teleport comes in. Here comes the shared ultimate. They're going to dive in. They will get the inhibitor turret down. They're going to go for CloudTemplar. CloudTemplar's going to get dropped. They're diving in. Woong's been exhausted. The damage on Woong. Ace in the hole. Not enough damage. They're going to get the taunt. He's trying to fountain dive Stanley. Back off, man. You are not invincible. He's going to get dropped. He has finally gone down. The inhibitor ultimate, the inhibitor damage coming in, but it doesn't matter. The Nexus turrets are going down. Azubu Frost are in all manner of trouble. Bebe, though, having to back out, taken incredibly low. And Taipei Assassins disengaged. 8-3 up, but they took down the Nexus turret and another inhibitor.
Another extremely impressive push by TPA. They're just showing how far ahead they are. The Zeke's Herald on mistake. The Baron regen was sustained them through so much of that. Baron buff is now off of them, but the siege is just going to continue. Here's the next thing. Toyz hasn't died this game. Can he get another flawless victory for himself? The Baron buff is what they'll be waiting for. They are so strong. They cleared it almost instantly last time. It's going to be even faster now, and with the inhibitor being down in the mid lane, it's going to be hard for Azubu Frost to push out. Actually, TPA pushed straight through that inhibitor for the Nexus turret. They did take out the bottom inhibitor, so the pressure to the bottom lane isn't going to be as high as they'd like when they go to poke on for the next Baron. But even with that, they've shown they can go almost wherever they want, and Azubu Frost does not have the damage to repel their tank line. Really, Stanley and Lilballz just crush through, and no one can even get close to Bebe right now because of all those items.
So Azubu Frost realizing there's no ward placement, trying to push out as quickly, as aggressively as possible, because they know that that Baron will be spawning shortly. And Taipei Assassins setting themselves up for this one. Defending out as still the cheers come for those wards going down. And you can see CloudTemplar, if he shows himself down there, they're surely just going to push through. There's the middle inhibitor respawning for Azubu Frost, but honestly, they know he's not there. They can just drive through, and there's nothing Azubu Frost can do to it, because CloudTemplar has been caught out of position. He's going to drive through, and now it's going to be Taipei Assassins picking up another inhibitor. The bottom inhibitor wasn't touched. Actually, I tell a lie on the back. I thought it was the last match. Instead, they just went straight for the Nexus. Here we go, 22 seconds, and the Baron will be available. And Taipei Assassins immediately reacted and going towards it.
And this is one, as long as they have a few wards on the approach, which Mistake can easily provide with them having 2 stacks, they'll know exactly if they can take the Baron for free or if they can peel. Either way, they'll win the fight. So this Baron probably going to go down shortly. Azubu Frost looks like they want to harass. They're running through wards. The TPA just goes and fights them. They're going to clean up, but they're going to try to finish off the Baron first, maybe.
They're going to try to get the Baron. They do. They got it very quickly. The Wall of Pain landed. The Crescendo gets across. MadLife is going to get caught down here. First to go. He's got the Oracle. He's trying to use as much as he can. Lilballz getting involved. Ace in the hole being blocked off by Woong. Not the ideal target. Toyz is going to get ready. Toyz goes down. First death of the game. That's going to be Coley. The Requiem's going to come out. It's going to be CloudTemplar. It's a triple kill again. RapidStar getting caught down. RapidStar's going to drop in the wall. Just about keeping him off. Taipei Assassin's going to try and get around. They're trying to circumvent on towards RapidStar. He's going to get caught out by Lilballz here. That's going to be the slow. It's going to be enough damage. No! He just manages to keep him back. And Woong gets exhausted. That's going to be Woong going down. Bebe manages to catch on to him. Bebe gets another. RapidStar is egged. Lilballz has got to be careful there. Towers on him. That is going to be the Nexus. That is going to be the ace. Taipei Assassins will take game 2. And Azubu Frost are going to find themselves in a 1-1 position. Taipei Assassins very, very strong throughout this match.
Again, bringing out that surprise pick at the start. Galen, something they didn't expect, and so dominating. TPA coming back strong. 1-1 now in these epic finals, and that was methodical in the way they took that down. They knew what point they needed to hit before they could press, and then they just rolled through them. That happened early game where they got the ace out of nowhere, and as soon as they hit those item thresholds, they went for the Baron and just rolled through. That was crisp, impressive play by TPA, and in stark contrast to their other strategies, which was so fast and aggressive, that was just standard methodical play. Very well done.
And how many times have we seen that Requiem now turn them games? Another triple kill. We saw a quadra kill in game 1. Wow, Toyz farming. I'm just looking across at it. 412 CS at the end of that game to 335. Absolutely outstanding, and proving for the second game running, he can out-farm RapidStar.
And he seems to have a big edge in that lane. That's going to be on Azubu Frost, maybe CloudTemplar to help him out a bit, because if they key off of something like that, just key off him being able to destroy, they pick the strong lanes. Even the bottom lane has shown to be a little bit better at farming, and Azubu Frost has the team play edge. Right now, if TPA continues those laning strategies, they're going to force Azubu Frost out of those teamfight comps, and they're going to make Azubu Frost pick more in the early game so they can avoid getting snowballed like that, because that's something that's very hard to play against.
So we're going to check out a replay towards the end of the game. Take us through it, Jan. I mean, that was a tremendous, tremendous fight.
And this is when they're just so far ahead. Lilballz tanks as many turrets as possible, and Bebe, look at this, he just destroys Woong, and then he just goes straight through the turret because he doesn't care. And this was Bebe just dominating. Did not care about the turrets, had the Baron buff, and this was just after a huge amount of crushing, base tanking the turrets once again. That's how you break the Anivia turtle, really. That was a textbook example of waiting until the right moment and just going through.
Yeah, and of course we saw the stall out for so long. Once they picked up that Baron, which was effectively for free because they did it so fast that Azubu Frost didn't react to it, they just pushed their way and drove through that middle from the outer to the inner to the inhib. They just drove straight through in one clean sweep.
And that was just all about waiting until the right moment. They had a lot of patience, something they didn't really have in the first game. They had that big lead early, but they kept picking bad fights. We even saw, I think it was Reginald said that they did pick bad fights. They adapted to that because it seemed a lot more passive or it seemed a lot slower, but they were really controlled in the way they did those things. And it was just great play by them all around.
Absolutely fantastic play. So we're a 1-1 even tie. We'll be right back after this short break with analysis from Freak and Rivington. And once more, back by popular demand, it is going to be Stick Figure Fighter 2, and we'll be right back.
They forced them into it. They got the Sona ban, which just meant there was only so many things they could ban out. They would have had to give them Karthus or Orianna.
Did they forget it?
There's no way they forgot it. These guys are way too prepared.
Way they forgot it.
Unless the pressure is really getting to them, but those look like controlled bans. And CloudTemplar's Anivia, he wants maybe another go with it. With the Sona being banned out, even though Sona is MadLife's by far favorite support, he's got plenty of other options. He's got Alistair, he's got Zyra, and support Lux is something we also haven't seen a lot of. But this is going to be pretty huge. The Orianna has a lot of people excited, including myself.
Including yourself. So we're seeing Shen coming out here along with Anivia. Anivia we saw on RapidStar in the very first game, the game they won. Right, lad, I tell a lie, he had Karthus.
Karthus has won both of these games.
Karthus has won both these games. This time Orianna, though, we saw Toyz with Orianna. He was absolutely dominant. I think he destroyed Froggen as well in one of those games in the group stage. Who was it against? Who was Froggen?
The Anivia play against
I'm trying to think of the Orianna against Froggen.
Toyz played the Anivia earlier.
I'm talking rubbish.
Is it just...
You know, we have a half-time break. I've gone to gibberish. It's all good, no worries. But Nunu coming out, something that Azubu Frost have said many times, and the green teams have said they do not agree with it. And Kog'Maw, of course, wasn't banned in this game. Could it be the Nunu Kog'Maw coming out from Taipei Assassins?
I don't see them not doing Nunu Kog'Maw here. It would be really the perfect pick for them, and they have enabled the Nunu pick by banning Sona. I think the reason Azubu Frost doesn't think Nunu's a strong pick is because they have relied so much on Sona in the past, and Sona just wins that lane. But as soon as you take her out of the picture, you enable yourselves to pick Nunu Kog'Maw. And Azubu Frost saying, you know, we could take either one of these guys. Could they be going aggressive with Leona and Ezreal? That would be something. They've been struggling in that bottom lane. Really, TPA outlaned them both of these times. Here it is.
And it has been locked in. There's a few very happy rioters right now. As it is. I can't quite make out what that chant is, but there's definitely a chant coming out. They're happy with Leona being locked in there. And Ezreal, Leona, well, it's a strong lane. They've got a lot of stun potential here at Azubu Frost.
And closing this out, there's a couple picks left. They've done Nunu Vayne in the past. I'd expect a Nunu Cog, but they did pick Vayne against Ezreal in a previous game. I thought that hurt them in teamfights, but he started out 4-1, so that's a very salvageable lane for them. If they combo it off of Orianna, they have tons of protection for him, but it would be iffy. There's not the Karthus that he has to run through. There's the lock-in on the Vayne, so they really like that pick and want to go back for more of it. And will Stanley pick the Jax away from Shy, essentially? because that Azubu Frost is probably a Shen for
Done
CloudTemplar,
it.
and they still have a chance to counterpick against that, but that's Stanley on Jax, something we've yet to see this tournament.
He's locked it in, so is it going to be Shen in the jungle or Shen on the top lane? The reverse of what we just saw. We just saw Shen being very strong against Stanley, but honestly, with Stanley. Shy, though, is going to know how to play against Jax. He's certainly going to know how to play against it with Shen, but the question is, will he go for something else? Will they force CloudTemplar to take it in the jungle?
And this pick can go either way. It looks like it gave him the option to pick a jungler or a top laner, and there's the Vladimir, so that's CloudTemplar on Shen, Vladimir up against Jax in that top lane. Going down these team comps, TPA once again going for a laning phase. Actually, no, they're not going for a laning phase this time. They've won the laning phase. In this regards, they have more of a team fight, whereas Azubu Frost, they've swapped roles in a sense. It's now on Azubu to push TPA, and they haven't been able to win the early game yet this tournament. So this is going to be exciting. How badly can Toyz outfarm RapidStar with Orianna, and how epic are those team fights going to be?
How epic will those team fights be? We are all square. We are 1-1. Game 3 is about to get underway. If you'd like to see Azubu Frost take it to a 2-1, give them a shout, ladies and gentlemen. They are on the stage. They will hear you.
Now Taipei Assassins, this has turned into a best of 3. If you want to see them take their second game of the series and in a row, let them hear it.
Well, it still seems to be crowd favourites, and there is the stadium. We are here in the Galen Centre.
Shot.
It is an amazing shot. You can see the stage, the trophy, everything on show. And we are about to get underway for Game 3 of the Season 2 League of Legends World Final here in the Galen Centre in Los Angeles. And you guys have all travelled a long way, managed to fight the parking spaces, which we had to find ourselves. We've all been through that pain. And it has been a tremendous reaction from you guys. You really are giving it fantastic support. And we have a
enthusiastic band up there, and we're into the match now. How are they going to play the early games? We haven't really seen much aggression. There's been a lot of scouting. I don't think we've seen an early buff steal. The only thing we saw was a Wraith taken over the wall. Will we see lane swaps? We saw a lot of that in Game 2. The Vayne is something that you normally want to only pick into a 2v1 lane. The TPA seemed fairly content and successful in laning it up against Ezreal in the first game. Azubu Frost, though, coming out strong with an invade, running straight into that triangle brush. TPA likewise going up around Race. I think TPA is just going to look to ward.
Yep, TPA pushing forward. They've got identical across the board item stacks. And there is the ward, the counter ward for Taipei Assassins. Azubu Frost, though, looking to make some damage here. They want to go for that red buff invade, start things off. If you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, Taipei Assassins are starting as the blue team. It is all square 1-1. We're a minute into Game 3, and Azubu Frost as the red team on your screen right now. They are warding up that bush. Pretty much identical play, despite the fact they've just done a complete round robin there on the red buff. And Azubu Frost looking like just going to take the wraiths away. That's all they're going to counter.
And even then, they just seem to be running out. They might just go for an early jungle. Defensive conservative play coming out early on from these guys. No clashes as of yet, and it doesn't even look like we'll see a delayed invade. If anything, no mistake, already leveling up that Blood Boil. He's not going to be going into the jungle. Might see a lane swap, actually. Stanley going back to base. We'll see a Jax bottom. And with Bebe and Mistake being up here already, they're going to be going top lane. And that will be a 2v1 for them. So we'll see how Shy and Stanley deal with the 1v2.
Yeah, so Stanley heading down that bottom lane. How are Azubu Frost going to react? They're going to pull away that blue buff. There's going to be Bebe and Mistake going on that top versus Vlad. RapidStar, of course, against Toyz in that mid lane. How will they match up this time around? So far, Toyz is out-farmed, but not out-killed.
Look at this. They're actually going for a 3-man invade. They're looking to take the Wraiths and potentially even the red buff with the 2v1 swaps. We've seen this a few times before. They have more members on this side of the map. So really, Azubu Frost doesn't have a way of stopping this red steal, and they could very well give Vayne a red buff in top lane, or they're going to let Lilballz take away with Smite.
He's going to get it before CloudTemplar even manages to react to this. CloudTemplar may walk into this one. No, he backs away. I think he's well away. Yeah, they realize there's nobody in the top lane. Back off. Shy, you need to back away from the turret. Bebe's going to go for him. Can he manage to pin him on the wall? He does manage to pull away. He just leveled up there as they came at him.
And that was actually really smart. Even though he just leveled up, he was yet to put a skill point in before he saw someone in the lane. So when they went to level 1 gank him, he had the pool. Very smart. He did not need a skill if he had no one to lane against. But with that, Lilballz invading his jungle, and now CloudTemplar trying an invade on red as well. And this is just hit for hit. Azubu Frost now going in for a red invade of their own because they outnumber TPA on this side of the map, and they're able to counter that out very nicely.
So they do counter each other out very well. MadLife, of course, helping out CloudTemplar with that smite, just to use it any second. There we go. Clearing out the red, just picking up and leaving those 2 golems there. Difference here, though, Azubu Frost didn't clear out the red, whereas Taipei Assassins completely cleared it out. They're going to know the timer.
Oh, CloudTemplar coming around the back. Toyz so evasive on that Orianna. He's not going to be able to catch that out, and that's going to make it so TPA has the timer on the red, but Azubu Frost doesn't, and Lilballz only lost about 20 seconds on the potential respawn of his red, so he doesn't really care that the red buff wasn't taken for him. The lane swap, let's see how that's working out. We got 11 minion kills on Vayne to 20 on Woong, so that red invade actually did slow him down a little bit.
There's a bit of a difference in the 2 lanes. The top lane with Bebe here is trying to zone out Shy as much as possible with Mistake. Meanwhile, the bottom lane is completely shoving on towards Stanley's turret.
And that's the thing with the 2v1 Vayne lane, you're not looking to push. Oh, here comes CloudTemplar pushing them back. You're not looking to push, you're looking to farm. But with the Ezreal lane, you're looking to push and create more action, and hopefully force Vayne to eventually lane against Ezreal.
Meanwhile, in that mid lane, you can see RapidStar and Toyz having a bit of an exchange, keeping things lively between them. Very much even in the CS in these early stages. As you would expect, the 2v1 laners, Vladimir and Jax, struggling for CS in those early stages as the 2 AD and supports trying to force them, trying to just pin them out, try to starve them of any goal.
And because of the denial in top lane, with Azubu's lane pushing, CloudTemplar having to babysit that top, and if Lilballz is able to catch him sitting there, they could turn something around. He's very good at waiting in those pockets of vision where no one's going to be able to see him, and here he comes in. Can he get a clear run to CloudTemplar? No, everyone's going to be able to disengage. Turns out to be just a bit of a waste of time.
So, in the early phases, we are looking to see whether they can counter each other. We did see Taipei Assassins, of course, suddenly pull out that ace 15 minutes in. We're only 5 minutes gone so far. CloudTemplar using the smite on the large wraith, making sure he does get that. He did, of course, have Lilballz just hanging in the distance. RapidStar getting caught out a little bit here by Toyz, trying to force the flash, not going to happen. Obviously it has Rebirth available, as well aware, managed to get well in range of the turret. Templar just lingering in the distance as Lilballz heads down south, maybe trying to poke a little bit towards this bottom lane, help out Jax, help out Stanley.
CloudTemplar might try a flash taunt onto Toyz because the poke went down to RapidStar. Instead he just gets the taunt.
And he's going to get the chain stun on Toyz. Are they going to get the ignite? That might be enough damage to the bull. They've tried to use defensive. Is he going to go down here? The ignite's ticking. It's just going to finish off. Now Lilballz is coming around. They're going to jump on towards MadLife. There's the counter strike. They've chained the stuns out already, and MadLife will just flash out. But Lilballz is continuing. That's going to be the exhaust now. Can they continue the damage though? Stanley turns his aggression on towards Woong. Manages to jump on. His counter strike's not going to be up for another few seconds, and they're going to have to back away. CloudTemplar was heading down south as well. Good disengage from Taipei Assassins.
And this has been a dead even farm off early, so no one really taking an edge, and that does favor TPA slightly because I think their teamfight phase is slightly stronger. Stanley have to be very careful now since he is at half health. He is running low on health potions. Actually, no, he's not. He's still got 2. The lane, if it pushes against him, he's going to have trouble getting experience. Overall, this has just been a close farm off thus far, 6.8 to 6.8k. No one really creating anything for each other yet.
No opening advantages, pretty much countering each other in the jungle. Red steals back and forth, keeping each other's blue buff. Blue buff, of course, will be back up in just about 30 seconds time. So we'll see whether anyone goes for that. RapidStar and Toyz picking up the race. Tell a lie, RapidStar's not getting his race. I say his race. It's almost become a standard in that mid lane that the AP carriers get their own rates.
It seems like it, and that's how these teams have been playing. Toyz 9 ahead of RapidStar. I guess that's going to even out just with that mid. So RapidStar not really getting outlaned by Toyz thus far. He even got the gank onto him, but he hasn't been able to pull very far ahead. One of the big stories is Stanley's only at 11 minion kills, 7.5 minutes in, so that could be fairly bad for them. They've now done the swap. They're actually the ones who initiated this, so they think Vayne's ready to lane against Ezreal, and they didn't want Stanley to get hurt by the 2v1 much longer. He's now trying to catch up and farm in the top lane. He's got a big stack ready to do it.
Lilballz is looking at Maybe going towards that red buff. Of course, he does have the timer on it. Is he going to try and go for an invade? Look at that, the ping's going across. They knew exactly where Lilballz was likely to head. He did pass that ward, of course. Has pulled out the red buff. Is going to try and get it. You can see that CloudTemplar is going to come around. It's going to be a smite fight, I believe, between the two of them. We're not seeing any movement from RapidStar. There's the smite. They're going to go down. They're trying to dive on towards Shy. I'm trying to see where he was. It was Bebe getting hit very much by that true shot barrage, but they didn't manage to take him. Woong was taken very low. You mentioned they feel they could win that lane out, but Bebe has just proven it very different. And Bebe a mistake there, putting a lot of pressure on that bottom lane, forcing Woong back.
Bebe a mistake, just showing once again their strength, going aggressive into the Leona and Ezreal in that bottom lane, and really just, that's going to be very scary for Azubu Frost if Bebe's continually allowed to farm like this. In the middle, RapidStar hasn't been able to get much onto Toyz, both of them just free farming. Even in the top now, Stanley starting to catch back up onto Shy. This looks like a controlled game thus far from TPA. They have a 300 gold advantage very early. They haven't been heavily counter-jungled. They were able to take the red buff, and we could see the first bit of action here if Stanley stops CloudTemplar from taking his red, since they do have a level advantage on him overall.
The timer, and there's CloudTemplar pulling out the red buff. Lilballz is just below on the golems. He's not aware of it. The question is, I think CloudTemplar is going to take it before he manages to react to this one. He's going to have smite. He's going to come around that corner, and he's going to smite it down. Didn't use it at the moment. Actually, Lilballz comes around. Lilballz, I think, picks it up there. CloudTemplar goes around. CloudTemplar is going to have to get away from it. He did manage to pick it up, and he's forced CloudTemplar back. Man, MadLife tried to support him. MadLife having to use his ultimate to keep him away. Gets the one more stun, but he's going to go down first. But for Bebe. Bebe going to try and turn this one to Woong, and just backs off. Good kill there. Taipei Assassins, a little bit of control there, being forced by CloudTemplar wanting to get that red.
And that was actually TPA forcing the Azubu Frost into a move that made that happen. CloudTemplar didn't quite have his smite to finish off that red buff, and now Woong in a bit of trouble, giving off the kill to Bebe, and the lane is just pushed against him, so he's not able to get experience. Mistakes trying to zone him out, and will they be able to get a stun here on the wall?
Stanley has tried taking a little bit of trade on the turret there, and looking like Stanley's actually starting to win out that top lane. Since they've traded back, he's definitely gained a bit of an advantage, and you can see again the Empower Strike there on Shy. Shy having to use the pull to get away. He's not going to be available next time. And we are seeing Lilballz again coming around aggressive on CloudTemplar, already taking the golems though, but they are pinging straight away towards Shy. They realize he's going to get pinned on that turret. He's going to have a wave coming in. Lilballz is going to try and get in there. Shy's going to try and get away. He's going to hit him with the cleaver. Stanley's going to get a jump. Nice. That's going to be Stanley finishing off. That's a nice Empower Strike, finishing him down. And they're going to maybe even push the turret there. You can see Toyz was just hanging around that bottom mid lane as well. And he's going to go back.
They knew there was a 24-second cooldown on that Vladimir pool, and that they were able to just straight up tower dive him. He had the burn earlier, so the dive was safe. They pushed off CloudTemplar, and that was just a bunch of attrition that came to a kill. Again, really organized play by Lilballz, and his ganks have been exquisite. Here now, RapidStar coming down through the bottom lane, walks through a ward, and once again, they can get those double golems for Nunu and Vayne, and it's keeping Bebe ahead in this lane. Now that they've kind of started winning the bottom lane, and they started winning the top, 1.7 thousand gold advantage. This is troubling for Azubu Frost, because even the late game teamfight phase looks to fall in TPA's favor.
And the problem is, it was Azubu Frost that actually engaged and forced the lane swap. Went back to switching down the bottom. And Bebe seems happy with that one. Stanley seems happy with that one. As it is, in the middle lane, you can see it's still starting to slip away to Toyz again. As the crowd find the ward, the first ward of the game going down, I believe. Taipei Assassins, though, in this bottom lane, are starting to force them back here. Lilballz starting to come around. He finds another ward.
Of course he does. He's been an assassin of wards, actually, in these games. Always picking up the early oracles, beating CloudTemplar to it this game, finding another one. That's 3 already. Oracle's starting to pay for itself. And up top, Stanley really starting to bully Shy here. 2-level advantage, continually just leap striking onto his face and pulling pretty much ahead here. And Lilballz coming around the back. They might look to dive this once the wave hits the turret. CloudTemplar's ultimate is up. They got to be very careful of this getting turned around.
Surely they spotted the axe coming through. They didn't quite manage to land it on Woong. Instead, he's actually going north. He's going to spot in towards the wolves. Hasn't gone through yet, so they've obviously called out, no, we don't want a lane phase. We feel we're just winning out this lane, so we're quite happy to farm it out. Will they go for it? Mistake is in there, just keeping Bebe with that blood boil, and he's happy to farm it out there. So
trying to steal blue.
And Lilballz on blue. You can see Orianna now heading around there. RapidStar's trying to get a peek, but he's not careful about this one. He realizes there is something there, and Toyz does pick it up.
Throughout all three of these games, TPA has done a fantastic job of stealing buffs, and they've started earlier this game than in the past. Azubu Frost knows they're going for this, but the fact that Stanley's came down means this is a free dragon, and it's just going to be about trying to push and get another Blue Invader, another tower for Azubu Frost. But man, they're just going all out here.
Yeah, and Azubu Frost immediately reacted. RapidStar and CloudTemplar going to go around, trying to steal away.
They're onto him. They might catch him in a fight here.
Yeah, because they walked past that ward, and immediately you can see Stanley and Lilballz heading up towards this one, trying to catch them off that good wall. He does manage to get the slow on RapidStar. It might be enough. The flash comes out, forced him away. Stanley wanted to jump in there and get that counter strike down.
But better judgment won out. He would have been jumping in 1v3, and they would have been able to turn that one. Successful blue invade, or blue counter invade for Azubu Frost, but they still lost out on that dragon. They didn't get any tower pushes, and this is still TPA slowly winning out this game. RapidStar again falling behind Toyz. The bottom lane again proving to be stronger for TPA, and they're pushing straight onto that tower. One of the big things about that top lane that won it out for Stanley was his double null magic build, and here they're just pushing straight down this turret bottom lane, and they look to force.
Yeah, he's kept the basic boots, hasn't gone for grade 2 boots just yet, which is obviously going to stop his gank a little, but look at the damage Bebe's putting down on this turret. 14 minutes gone, nearly shredded that turret down. The ultimate on Mistake here, they're going to dive for him. That's going to be the Gen ultimate. Mistake will drop. I don't think he's going to get away from this one. Now Bebe's in trouble. Bebe having to use his ultimate, will manage to escape. But that was a good gank, a good turn from Azubu Frost. However, Shen's ultimate was required to turn that one, and Stanley on the top there against Shy, again continuing to bully.
The fact that they use their Shen ult aggressively did create the kill for them, but since they're losing the lanes, it now creates a lot more danger because things like this can happen.
And that is going to be the rebirth. How's he going to have enough damage? He's going to have the shockwave as soon as he comes up. There's the ball. Is he going to bother using it? No, he's not. He's just going to harass him, knowing full well rebirth is down.
Did get the egg though, and now the tower dives are vulnerable for everyone on Azubu because they're losing the lanes, and there's no Shen ult to save them now, so TPA can be much more aggressive for the next 120 seconds as that Shen ultimate just continues to tick down. Really, they did create a kill, but they didn't gain all that much from it. They killed Nunu, but they didn't even stop Bebe from farming after that death. Woong might look to get aggressive here, but they're just pretty scared of the main Nunu right now.
Bebe knows exactly where he is. They were waiting to move around, manages to get the stun down. We've moved away from the top lane because we're looking in the mid lane. There's a fight at the bottom. God damn it. There it is. Mistake manages to get on towards MadLife. Have they got the damage? Are they going to switch? They will take MadLife down. He has to use the heal there. Woong does manage to get a last shot. No! He turns it. Goes back to Woong. Woong now slows down. Ezreal ultimate. He gets out of it. One more shot. No! He manages to avoid the damage. Very well played, Woong there. Arcane shifting just at a critical moment. Meanwhile, there was that huge fight in the middle there, and we do just see Taipei Assassins now. You can see that actually Toyz is heading south. The ping goes down on him. RapidStar saying, back away from this one, Woong.
This is going to be the first tower of the game for TPA, and they're just letting the minions finish it off, knowing full well that Woong had to back away due to the threat of Toyz. And that just goes to show that's going to be a very scary Bebe coming up soon. Phantom Dancer at 16 minutes with the Nunu. His attack speed is tremendous at this point. Stanley also picking up a Phage, as well as that experience advantage he has on Shy. He's fallen a bit behind in minion kills, but he's still able to bully up in that top. And mid, you can see Toyz poking the ball back and forth, trying to get aggressive onto RapidStar right now.
Shockwave goes down. They realize obviously RapidStar doesn't have his egg available. Toyz immediately gets countered. He's got the ignite down. Toyz is going to get dropped. And that is a great turnaround there. MadLife comes back in. MadLife might get dropped again, but it doesn't matter. An AP carry for a support. They're going to take that loss.
But the thing is, with that, Bebe got his third kill, and they're going to lose a turret for this because RapidStar is too low. So all of the action that's getting created here is always favoring TPA. Second turret of the game, on top of their dragon, on top of their 4-kill advantage, and on top of their minion kills is adding now 5,000 gold. Big lead for TPA, coming up really strong in this game 3.
A huge lead this early on, and you can see Stanley continuing to push this top lane as well. The rest of the Taipei Assassins are closing in on towards this top lane. The ping's going down. Lilballz realize that red buff may well be available, but they are going to collapse on towards the top turret. Will they force it down, or will they just try and catch them out here? The wards may well give the advantage here. They're going to try. Look at this, Taipei Assassins waiting. Is Woong going to fall for it? Is he going to come around the side?
Oh man.
Coming around. They're going to dive for him. Does manage to pin him, not quite on the wall, and the arcade shift will come in. Bebe might be able to have the damage to finish him off, but MadLife is there again to force him away. Top turret did go down while that trade was happening, and we can see Stanley continuing to force on that top. Very nice play from Taipei Assassins here.
3 turrets to 0, and in the games they won in the semifinals, it was about this fast turret pressure strategy. They were going to get the next Dragon just because of their large gold advantage as long as they're in position for it, and no one on Azubu Frost can deal with them right now. They're going to try to go around and get picks. Lilballz has to be careful here, popping his ultimate, very good awareness. They're very scary right now. They're going for that Oracle.
They're going for Lilballz, actually. They're diving in. That's going to be one ultimate use. Can they catch him out with another? Doesn't matter. Ultimate was reused for Lilballz. He's waxed away. Shockwave used on CloudTemplar. Pulls him in. Shockwave's going to... That's going to be an Oracle burn from Toyz. Beautiful, beautiful play by Toyz there to single-handedly take down CloudTemplar without the rest of the team realizing what was happening behind them.
Toyz just an assassin on Orianna, and CloudTemplar got counter-jungled heavy. He's being shut down. TPA getting chanted by the crowd, and look at this push on mid lane. They're showing domination thus far.
This is what they did against Moscow 5, of course, when they had that Vayne. And Bebe now completely in charge. Toyz seems to be in charge. They're going to close it on Woong. They're going to have the counter strike. They've gone for RapidStar. RapidStar flashes Woong around the side. Woong, the absolute zero being used. That's going to be one down. RapidStar drops. Woong is going to get dropped as well. Stanley gets another. MadLife goes down. Bebe all over him. Shy has to run away, and they have a 5-man terror squad in that middle. They're going to take down another turret. They are stripping these turrets down.
The terror squad, as you put it, 4th turret down at 19 minutes. The Dragon's up in 5 seconds. They're going to be able to pick that one up as well. This is an unbelievable Game 3 performance by TPA. The Oracle's on the little ball, still clearing away the wards. No one on Azubu Frost is ready. RapidStar is not able to stop them from diving through in team fights.
Good lord.
And here they're just going to continue the kills.
Why did they chase? Why did they do it? CloudTemplar getting caught out. The exhaust on Shy. Shy now gets pinned on the wall. They're going to pick up another kill off the back of this one. Shy manages to take down Mistake, but honestly, a support for a double kill to Bebe. I don't think that was a good exchange.
Bebe is rolling right now on top of the Blood Boil. He is just going wherever he wants and destroying. Slick play there. He condemned one member into the wall where he went out and finished. And they're actually a little bit low here. Azubu Frost realizes the panic switch is on and they're trying to get something done here. They might actually get a Dragon here because everyone on TPA might be backing off. Or Toyz with his ultimate back up could close this and TPA could continue the pressure. Here they come.
And they immediately realize the pressure is on. They're going to dive in. Stanley gets launched in Shockwave. RapidStar instantly. RapidStar's rebirth will drop. RapidStar goes down. Woong trying to pull something out here. Stanley with the ball on him. He's going to jump back onto Rowan. Woong going to get dropped. Taipei Assassin are destroying, one might say, assassinating Azubu Frost.
One fight after the other. Azubu Frost realizes the situation and they're not letting Taipei Assassins get ahead because they knew once it started, there was no stopping them. Just the new Vayne, the Orianna, the Jax, just a superpower of a team comp once they get a lead, and with an 11,000 gold lead at 20 minutes, things look incredibly dire for Azubu Frost right now. One after the other, they continue to run in and die, and now they are even farther behind. Everyone on TPA outplaying.
And it's that dangerous position when you start going in one by one, just slowly feeding them. Taipei Assassins, you know, they had a 5-man in that jungle, yet again, Azubu Frost went in there 2 or 3 times, just completely trying to catch them out. Thought they caught something, but no, all they caught was another 5-man Taipei Assassins just destroying them. And that terror squad of Taipei Assassins really is causing them problems. 3-0 Stanley, 3-1-3 Toyz, 5-0 Bebe. The rest of the team, ultimate support, 0-2-7 getting in there, and 0-0-6 for the jungler. Taipei Assassins really are very, very strong right now. They have a 10,000 gold advantage 21 minutes in.
And you look at this, they're going for a Baron. They have about 50% more gold than Azubu Frost, and Azubu Frost has absolutely no vision on this Baron. The new Vayne, they pop the ult for more damage. They're looking to end this one fast. I would be surprised if this gets to 30 minutes. TPA knows exactly how to finish, and they're doing it expertly.
And while they do take that Baron down, Toyz was actually bullying them. That was pushing Mistake, RapidStar and MadLife back. Toyz really is in absolute dominant form, proving why Orianna's been banned 2 games already, and many games before this one. You do not allow him, and well, I'm seeing on the screen, it is a surrender!
That was the most impressive victory by Taipei Assassins really we've seen all week. The crowds are behind them. They have the momentum. One more game, and they will be the world champions. It's just a matter of continue what they're doing. They're winning the lanes, they're winning the games. They seem to have things figured out. Azubu Frost backs against the wall. They have to respond with something.
Absolute phenomenal stuff, and honestly, Taipei Assassins were lethal in their execution throughout that entire fight.
And that was just that's the fastest game we've seen all tournament. 22 minutes. They knew the game was over, Azubu Frost. They just wanted to get on to the next game. That could be a smart call. They knew that lingering in that game was only going to demoralize them, so they decided to end it early. They must have been talking, they need to be talking about counters here, because letting through Orianna, not the answer. Going Nunu and trying to get aggressive on it, also not the answer. They have a lot of learning to do, because even though they're only down 1-2 in this, that first game, they had to claw their way back in this, because that's 3 early games in a row that they've lost pretty disastrously.
So there's a number of things that did work for Azubu Frost. It was the Sonar Ezreal. They realized that, they banned out Sonar, they caused disruption there. Gunrun couldn't do as much with Ezreal. We've also had the AE comp, the Amumu got in there. We've not seen any ban on Amumu yet. They've not gone with it though. They feel the shock and awe that they caused in the first game was probably enough, and they didn't want to revisit it. Do they have to go back to it now though? Because it's the only game they've won. And honestly, when they've tried to match them lane for lane, they've been destroyed.
That happened that game. I mean, they tried to match them. They need to go with the team fight composition. We have actually a replay coming up real shortly here, and let's take a look. And here was just the Orianna ult crushing them, and this is the one after the other fight that ended up happening. Every one of these fights started before Azubu Frost could fight back, and Bebe on top of Nunu, his movement speed was so great that there was no running away from anyone on TPA right there. The movement speed advantage overall just allowed them to snowball that game so easily.
So absolutely destructive force, and they just obviously go and pick off the dragon from that. No problem at all. Taipei Assassins incredibly strong. They are now 2-1 up. We're going to take a small break, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll be right back with more from Freak and Riv, and a code to unlock the Season 2 Championship Ribbon icon for free. Keep your eyes peeled.
TPA, I believe, after I saw them play M5, they're the team to beat, and I don't think there's actually a team to beat them, so I think TPA is going to win that. TPA! TPA! Yeah, TPA.
Welcome back, everybody, to USC's Galen Center here in Los Angeles. As a thank you for watching the Season 2 Finals, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you some free stuff, because everybody in the crowd here is getting free stuff, so why shouldn't you at home? We have a code that you can redeem to unlock the Season 2 Championship Ribbon icon for absolutely free, just like League of Legends. So get your pens ready. Here it is, guys. The code, 521337. Make sure you got your League of Legends open. Make sure you are ready to get that ribbon code. Make sure you have your new icon sported for the championship day here at the Galen Center. League of Legends Season 2 Championship underway so far into our 3rd game, and it's going to be absolutely huge. But 4th.
Oh, yeah, of course. So head over to bit.ly.com, or sorry, yeah, bit.ly, yeah, nice. bit.ly/lawribbon. I'm so used to saying .com after every URL, I can't untrain myself. Thank you, Internet, for giving me new, suffixes to add, and I appreciate that. But head over there, put the code in, get your championship ribbon icon, get that going on, put your username and summoner and region. Make sure you get that one right so we know who you are, and how to give you that. We're going to move that one forward. That code will be useful for 24 hours. So seeing as that you're already on a computer, shouldn't be too hard to get there in that time limit. Of course, you guys are here in person. Of course, I think we got you taken care of already, so not a big problem there. So make sure you get that one done. Make sure you get that taken care of. So that game, Riv, that game, holy cow. You look at that.
Absolutely amazing. TPA just, I don't even know what to say about that. They came out so strong. It was very, very calm in the beginning of the match. We saw a lot of people going back and forth. We saw that Azubu Frost was really taking some harassment down bottom, but no kills came out of that as they kept going neck and neck. And then TPA just once again turned it on. Like you said, they are reading.
They are reading.
Azubu Frost like a book.
They really are. And now we have to talk about the obvious momentum shift that
Right.
suddenly goes. I mean, keep in mind, Azubu Frost, they come out of the gates. Game 1, boom, it goes to them. Game 2, TPA brings it back. And then that kind of shifts things to a best-of-3 mentality. But now that TPA is leading in one game and potentially could close it out, suddenly the whole attitude, the whole way you're playing positively, it shifts. And now Azubu Frost, they have that very, very difficult task of fighting against that. I mean, you know how it is? You've been in that situation where you've got to win a best-of-3, but you're already down a game. It's if you make a mistake, it's game over. And that's really tough to play in those types of circumstances.
So, Freak, let's see where some of those mistakes are made with our replays.
Yeah, so you got a couple of games to show up, a couple of those fights to go on, and you're going to see just what happens when you've got an Orianna Jax combo. Anytime you pair Orianna with some kind of melee bruiser who can initiate, you turn them into a tank. Let's go in and see just what it takes. And as Stanley jumps in, we can pause and we see exactly how much crowd control that is. He jumped in, he stunned up that poor Ezreal, jumped onto RapidStar as well. They're completely locked up. The dissonance as well allows the team to jump in and pick off either target they want. Let's see how this plays out. Stanley there onto RapidStar. Woong kind of caught up. The immediate absolute zero means Woong cannot fight back. And Bebe all alone can just charge in. Easy pickups there as well. And that's just because you've got initiation. You're there. Their team doesn't know you're coming in just yet. You've got a lot of 5-on-2s coming in. That is that team just having the extra sort of team fight presence. Let's look at that one more. Let's look at one more clip because you can see how well TPA can sort of collapse on another team. Got a replay going on here. And watch this exhaust. We pause right here. And look at that. Bebe, he was chasing CloudTemplar, and you want to chase the guy in front because he's going to get away. But he stops seeing he's got a free stun there on Shy and is like, great, he's stunned. We'll deal with him later. Let's move on to CloudTemplar, and we can play that out. We see Bebe just easy with the chase. The team then able to collapse on a Shy right after. No way that pool will help. We can pull that out, and we know he's just an easy kill at that point. But I got to give props to Bebe. That was so amazing to realize he's got a guy on the side that's a free stun. That's the kind of clarity you need as a top player. You know at that point that he knows how to play Vayne so intimately as he chases one out, is able to look still while chasing and tunnel visioning. He's got a stun off to the side, lands it, leaves him there for later, and just continues the fight. Really, really great stuff.
So we can see just how fast Taipei Assassins can really come in and turn a game around for themselves. But let's go behind the scenes a little bit more as we have Erica, the manager of TPA, joining us up on stage. Erica, how are you doing today?
Hi, good. Really, really nervous.
Erica, I watched game number 1 from the back, and actually, admittedly, I didn't watch as much of the game as I probably should have because I had my eyes fixated on you. Bear with me here. There's so much emotion. There's so much emotion going through you, the team, at this point of the game. I just saw what looked like a very emotional roller coaster, from a explosive start to then like, what is happening? Why are things breaking down? So how have things been since that point? Obviously, riding on a wave of 2 victories is pretty awesome. Can you tell us how you and the rest of the team is feeling right now?
You're feeling really, really confident right now. And yes, the first one, I was kind of an emotional roller coaster. But I've since calmed down to watch the other 2 games. So I think my team calmed down as well.
In preparation for a game like this, knowing the next one could be the final one as you go against the Azubu Frost, what is your job for the players right now? What do you bring for that?
Basically just to give them more encouragement and more confidence, and just to let them know that they can do it.
All right, thanks very much. But you know what? Let's see if they can do it. Right? They're feeling confident, they're feeling good, the nerves settling a little bit. We know that Frost are also the comeback kings. Let's head over to Jat and D-Man, because Game 4 is about to start, guys.
So, can they do it? That's the question. We are into the championship game. Will it be 3-1, or will we go 2-2? Azubu Frost, they've been out back. You saw all those chairs were empty.
Yeah.
They've collected their thoughts coming into this game. How do you deal with this? This is the pressure moment. This is why you get paid as a pro player.
Azubu Frost has had their backs against the wall many times. In OGN Summer Championship, they were down 2-0 in a best-of-5 and won the next 3. In the semifinals, they were down 1-0 and won the next 2, and now they're into Champion Select. How are they going to adapt? They did have a chat back there. We were talking earlier. I think they're going to go for more of an AoE comp. They need to win the team fights because it's shown the TPA beats them up in the lane, and it's just that mindset that might get them through. If they do anything else, it might be some kind of creative support pick or creative pick in general, just to get them over that hump and surprise TPA.
So with that Nidalee ban, immediately tells me they don't want a split push coming out from Taipei Assassins. They want to get them all collectively together. Are they going to go for that AE comp? You can see Skarner being banned once again. CloudTemplar's not been allowed that throughout this entire game, but they've banned Karthus this time.
And if anything, they actually, this is a lot of back and forth because Orianna is still on the board. Azubu Frost has the first pick. Are they going to force TPA to ban it, or would they first pick it away from it? Because I can't imagine them ever giving them Orianna again. They're either going to first pick it away or get it banned out here by TPA. And if that happens, what are they trying to play for? Because Jace is still available. Ooh. And they would take a Jace for an Orianna if they do this trade. And this would actually come out, I think, in the advantage of TPA. Stanley knows how to lane against Jace. He'll do Aurelia, and he's very good at that matchup.
He'll do an Aurelia, and of course we'll see Orianna. I mean, why would we not?
Of course they're going to do Orianna. That's the pick and ban back and forth. Azubu Frost has so much value on Jace, and his disengaged ability, they got poked out by CLG. And this could be a poke comp. They did a Morgana Jace poke comp, at least CLG EU did. And Lux can fill the same role. You land one binding and you'll kill somebody. And if they try for that, TPA would have to build a very aggressive poke back. But from the looks of this, the fact that they put so much value on Jace, the fact that they were willing to give up Orianna, they're going hard with poke.
They are going hard with poke. They've put in Shyvana in there as well. They want to be quick in the jungle. They need to match Mundo's speed. Now, Taipei Assassins, they have the choice of the AD and support. What will they go with? I can't imagine that top lane's going to be going in there. Expect the support and AD. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Tryndamere. Rise, I don't think so either. Taipei Assassins, come on.
Tryndamere and Rise, the co-founders of Riot Games.
That's
they're
what
paying
they're doing.
them homage right now. We'll see what they end up going with. They need some kind of hard engagement here. Nunu Vayne could be something they do. That's not the hard engagement, but that's the move speed they need to chase after through a Jace. Also, the Kog'Maw is available. That's very heavy poke as well. The Nunu support with the Sona banned out is just natural for their progression. They'll probably be picking an AD carry here with that last choice.
So the final pick, what will they go AD? Oh no, it's Shen.
Oh.
They've locked in Shen, so they're leaving the AD carry because they don't know what they're up against. They want to say, Woong, make your choice. He went very quickly, and that poke comp, we saw this at New York. The Graves and Lulu comp, which means it is going to be Lux in that middle lane. There's a heck of a lot of poke. Now, they were taking turrets down within 6 minutes with this lane. This obviously, bear in mind, it was a Azubu Blaze.
They practice together, and they share a lot of the same strategies, so they know exactly how to execute this. And they can really put this with whatever AD carry they want. In the past, the Ezreal's been taken away from them, and they've done something like Vayne to go against it. But maybe Bebe thinks Ezreal's still the best carry, and it's a luxury for these guys to take it, not a necessity with that last pick. Maybe trying to counter out the poke. He's very good at dodging a lot of those skill shots. Ezreal would be a good choice here, and we'd still see that back and forth poke engage battle.
Well, that back and forth poke, Azubu Frost, they have to pick this one up, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to see us go to Game 5, Azubu Frost would need to pick this one up, ladies and gentlemen. Get behind Azubu Frost.
And here, now the teams have been locked in, actually. The early game Shyvana jungle is going to be pretty important to shut down. Lilballz has done some very strong counter jungling, and neither of these teams rely on blue buff, so that'll be very big. Here now, TPA, one more win to finish it off for the World Finals. They got 2 chances, but they are on a roll. Can they get a clean sweep 3? If you guys want TPA to take this one out, let's hear it.
Just look at the venue, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone ready and waiting. Game 4 getting underway. We are into the championship games, as they say, and there is the Summoners Cup. That is what they're playing for. And there is Azubu Frost preparing themselves, getting ready. These are the last moments before you go into that potentially last game. $1 million on the line. How do you just calm your nerves? Not one of them touching the keyboard there.
All of them just so focused on what's coming up, and just so much is on the line here. $1 million to the winning team. The culmination of all the seasons for these guys. They've trained in gaming houses. They've completely devoted their lives. This is their profession. They are all in for this. So much success coming out for Azubu Frost coming into this. Taipei Assassins seemingly coming out of nowhere, but have been good for a while. Now that we're into the game, one more victory, TPA moves on. Azubu Frost backs against the wall. Can they do it?
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just joined us, where have you been? Azubu Frost as the blue team, Taipei Assassins as the red team. 2-1 lead, massive, massive poke comp coming out from Azubu Frost. Are we going to see any level 1 gauges here, Jat? And honestly, who is the stronger of the two in the level 1 fight?
Stronger level 1 has to go to Azubu Frost. They have that light binding from Lux, and they can follow it up really aggressively. On top of that, they have the acceleration gate from Shy if they want a hard engage. So much noise coming up from these crowds. There is a ward on the red, and they're going to be walking over that one.
So here we can see the ward being gone down on the red. Azubu Frost going to sneak around. Taipei Assassins sneaking around.
Now we see them all in that brush, but they were seen by the ward, so everyone on TPA knows that they're there. They could very well get 5-man engaged on. The Oriana ball will go into scout before anyone follows up. It's just a matter of if they try to fight off the back of it.
There's an orange bounces past me. Thank you very much. That's the fun being thrown out at the back there. It's all right. It's okay. Azubu Frost.
They're just waiting this one out. They know that they might be waiting for them to steal the race so that they can't disengage, and they would loop around the back of them and try to catch them.
They're teleporting out though. Are they going to back off? Are they going to go for it? Are they going to cancel it? Shy is going. MadLife going. We're seeing them coming round. RapidStar's been spotted. He's going to get a light binding. Just about got the light binding down, and Stanley does try to get the taunt on him, but he's forced away. And I tell you what, MadLife is completely out of position. He's going to try and back off from here. And he's trying to teleport. Oh, he's not going to get a chance
trapped.
to. He is trapped. Has he managed to escape it though? With that, will that little pixie get spotted? He has. MadLife's going to go down. There's no way in hell he's ever going to escape this one. The kill's being given to Toyz. And that is first for 2 minutes gone. And now they're on the red buff.
TPA gonna get this steal. Oh, unless Woong wants to steal, they smite it away. That's a big early game advantage. First blood and the buff steal. The only mistake here could be if Shy gets too much farm on the bottom. There's a
oh, Woong's got caught. Woong's got caught. The exhaust goes down. He's going to catch on. And he does manage to get the kill. And that goes to Bebe. Could you give worse kills to Taipei Assassins? Toyz and Bebe already 1-0 up. Just 2 minutes gone in this game. Lilballz is all over the blue buff.
And now they're just getting another buff steal. They've stolen so many blues in this tournament. They've also stolen so many reds, and this is just the best start TPA could hope for. Coming into game 4, one more victory. They already have the lead. At this point, it's on Azubu Frost to really regroup, because not only are they behind, their backs are against the wall, and the slightest mistake can just end it.
The big thing here is that Shy has got into that lane very early on. 12-0. Obviously, 12-0 in CS, sorry. 12-0, that would be pretty crazy level 1 fight, but he's going to have a huge advantage. He's going to have that level difference in that bottom lane. He's going to be able to bully Stanley early on.
Top lane here. Bebe actually all alone. Nunu trying to run up here. Lilballz picking up his blue up. He's going to hand this one off to Toyz, and that's going to be very strong in the mid lane.
So, that is going to be the blue picked up by Lilballz. And Lilballz immediately with both blue buffs now. MadLife and Woong back in that top lane versus Bebe. And Bebe, of course, with that kill early on. Hasn't gone back, hasn't spent that extra gold he has, that 1 kill and assist. Meanwhile, Woong is really going to have to pressure it. As it stands, Toyz in that mid lane, 23 CS to 21. Looks is going to have his work cut out here. RapidStar has been out-farmed in all of the games to date. How will he be able to cope this time around?
Thus far, he's already falling behind, and his Lux is very, very strong in OG and Summer. They did pick Lux when they were trying to come back into this one, but Toyz, with that first blood and the early blue up, going to be so dominant in that game. His Wraiths are going to be taken repeatedly, and here comes Lilballz. Will he get spotted up by that ward, trying to shut down Woong and MadLife? Bebe and Mistake have done so well laning this entire tournament, and they're just going to try to put on the pressure hard early.
Yeah, Stanley being shut down, of course, now 20 CS behind. He was late to get him back to his lane because of that help they had. He did manage to get an assist, of course. That was when MadLife got taken down. Azubu Frost now clearing out their own jungle. It's going to be the Wraiths being picked up. As it is, Toyz continues to farm out that mid lane. We need the tiniest of advantages, but the big advantage right now, I feel, is Lilballz. He has got that level ahead of CloudTemplar already, of course. He did manage to get in, take all the blues. Didn't manage to get the red, I don't believe. But this top lane, Bebe versus Woong. Woong picking up that lane. The point of this lane is so they can shove, they can poke, they can take that turret down quickly. It has backfired on them because of those 2 early deaths.
And Bebe and Mistake are doing such a good job making sure Azubu Frost's health is low, that they're not feeling safe coming up for that turret. Lilballz actually swooping around the back. He's going to come away empty-handed if he does anything. But thus far, Azubu Frost has recovered fairly well from those 2 early deaths. They're only down 800 gold. They haven't really given away any deaths early on, so they may be able to withstand that early mistake.
So you can just see Lilballz. Is he waiting out in the red buff there? Let's have a look at Lilballz. If we could, we're going to see CloudTemplar. He's spotted. He's in that ward. They know exactly where CloudTemplar is now, and you can see Lilballz immediately
goes for
raids.
So that is, again, sometimes a ward top lane can just win you the jungle or win another lane. It's all about just group vision. Gonna just leave that one tiny little raid down bottom, and you can see CloudTemplar still waiting in that brush. Does not realize TPA has it, and yeah, Lilballz continuing to swoop around in that jungle, waiting for the right moment to try to gank. He might be coming in behind Shy and trying something.
6 minutes gone. Not going to take Red because Red isn't there. We are seeing him going towards Shy though around that bottom lane. RapidStar meanwhile, Toyz is surely going to get, no, the Ignite is not going to be enough. He's got the help up now and he'll down the bottom lane. They are going to go for Shy. Shy will be able to back away from this one. The help was required by Stanley. He does get a long range taunt there and immediately turns onto him. And just trying to bully him away from that lane. That help required by Lilballz. Oh, Bebe's got to be careful. He's getting hit very low here. And Woong and MadLife are slowly turning this lane in their favor on the top.
And that bottom lane is going to be so key for Azubu Frost. They gave away Orianna so Shy could have that Jace. They need to withstand this early on so they can form up and create the poke composition, but I still wonder how well that poke is going to be executed considering the engagement potential of TPA's Orianna. Looking in this top lane, it is getting a lot of harass traded back and forth, but this roam by Toyz is going to push Azubu Frost straight back.
Now seeing Toyz, he's just going to walk past that ward. He's got spotted. He has got Shockwave available. And the level 4 Woong has got to be careful that that ball doesn't come out and Shockwave him very quickly. They know he's there. They poke him. And they're just really baiting that one. Now they're going to dive in the middle lane, actually. We can see Lilballz. Lilballz getting covered on. And CloudTemplar forcing him away. RapidStar trying to pick up as much farm. They realize, and that's going to be Toyz backing off. Toyz has a big farm advantage, though, already in that mid lane.
And that was so much of the first blood and the early blue buff he got. But again, 4th game in a row, Toyz just out farming RapidStar, really showing how good these players on TPA are, how much they've been practicing, the dedication showing through. They have strict schedules. They wake up in the morning, define times. They have defined practice schedules. They go work out, keep their bodies in shape, and all of this coming to fruition. One more game, and they will be the world champions. And now Blue was not able to get invaded. Azubu Frost able to take it down. Stanley puts the ward over, just missing. They're still looking to create pressure, though. They're very good at stealing buffs. They need to get an Oracles on a Lilballz. They're going to do that because those wards continue catching them out and tipping off Azubu.
You can see immediately the ping's going down on towards Toyz. Toyz wanted to take away the Wraiths there. They know exactly where he was, though. And the Wraiths are not available. So Azubu Frost doing a good job at keeping hold of their resources. They knew what was coming. They knew what to expect from Taipei Assassins, which is a good start. They've had the lane swaps now. I'm not too sure Stanley versus Woong at the top here. He is level 6, Woong's still only level 5, and MadLife, of course, just hitting level 5, which means the advantage in that bottom lane, will they be able to handle? Jace, they're going to dive on towards Woong. They managed to get the cleaver on him. Woong's getting slowed down. The taunt it hasn't been used yet by Stanley. The Ignite's going down. Lilballz is going to land it. Good, has to flash out of it. Can they turn it on towards MadLife? There's the True Shot Barrage missing out. And they're going to back off from this one. Meanwhile, that bottom lane, you can see now, Jace really is farming on machine right now. Shy on that bottom lane. 70 CS compared to Stanley's. Just kept approaching 40.
And that gank up top was extremely successful despite not getting a kill. Those 2 flashes being burned from Lulu and Graves as they try to harass down on Shy is going to make it so they don't feel safe fast pushing that turret, because the next time Mundo comes around, it will be the death of them. They didn't have to burn any summoner spells themselves to get in on that gank. So very, very successful. Shy, they're trying to slow down his farm. That's the reason they did this lane swap. They don't want Stanley to fall too far behind Shy. And overall, they are keeping up fairly well. 1,000 gold, that's a bit up from the 800 they had with the 2 early kills. This is a very stagnant early game. It's going to be all about Azubu Frost waiting until they can get their poke composition going and just withstanding this early point from TPA.
Taipei Assassins with that early lead. They have that farm advantage, 25 CS. They are going to go for the Dragon. They're going to try and force something here. I'm not too sure Azubu Frost are in any position to deal with this one. Taipei Assassins will pick this up quite easily. Shyvana is just off the side there, but CloudTemplar cannot get involved in this one. He's got to be careful he doesn't get caught out here. Hasn't had a phase proc from Bebe though, and he's managed to walk away from that one.
And that's what happens when you send 2 members of your team up top around 10 minutes into the game. Shen could always come down with his global, and that was just a straight up Dragon Force. They've now swapped back again because they realized they couldn't fast push up top. And there's 4 members of Azubu Frost down here, but the speed and versatility of TPA is making it so they can't get engaged on. This is just all around strong pressure by TPA.
And they are, in the meantime, pushing in that middle. Lilballz has managed to clear out And look at that, 104 CS to 73. It's a 30 CS advantage. Athene's Unholy Grail already picked up, just 10 minutes gone for Toyz on Orianna.
That is an extremely fast Athene's Unholy Grail. And all of their lanes, aside from Stanley versus Shy, are winning quite substantially. 23 million kill advantage for Toyz, 17 million kill advantage for Bebe, and still both of Toyz and Bebe have that early kill. So gold-wise, it's 1,000 for Toyz and 800 for Bebe. Really, all of their advantages concentrated on those two.
The turrets continue to be pushed. Toyz working his way around. He's got to be careful. He has got CloudTemplar just off in the distance, going to try and steal a Wraiths, but Toyz is already heading for them. He's like, no way in hell you're ever going to get those Wraiths away from me. He's even got the last one. Toyz just completely dominant there. CloudTemplar not able to pick up a single thing there. They're both level 9 though. And RapidStar still keeping up. Now the advantage for Azubu Frost here, if they can get it, is the fact that when they do pull together, they are really going to be able to drive them on the turrets.
That's going to be their plan, but I don't know if it's going to be executed. There's a lot of move speed coming out from TPA, and only the acceleration gate from Azubu Frost as RapidStar tries to spike down Toyz, but that's just the armor and MR that she can get with the ball on her head. That really didn't do that much, and he's almost okay despite Lux burning his full combo. TPA is feeling very confident right now because oh, big fight up top.
They're pressuring on towards MadLife. They might get him in. True Shot Barrage just about missing. Mistakes trying to go aggressive. There's Stanley coming in. There he goes. Woong's going to go down, but I think he might get a kill from the top.
Oh, wow.
No, they escaped it. Flash and Arcane Shift both avoided. Very well played on the top there. Taipei Assassin down 4-0. Shockwave on CloudTemplar. He has to ultimate out of that one. And just about avoids the damage from Taipei Assassins. They continue to push the pressure. And RapidStar again getting caught with a distance there. But Toyz does escape the tower damage.
And we've seen it all tournament. It's a bit of a lull over and over for TPA, and then they pounce. They activate a couple ganks at the same time because they are just so coordinated. That dive up top was amazingly flashed away from the tower. 2 members of BB Mistake, so good up top this entire tournament. Their synergy has destroyed Azubu Frost. And Orianna also unstoppable. And right now, everyone's ahead.
Bottom lane turret's about to go down. Looks like Shy is all over that one. So first turret of the game should be for Azubu Frost. He's about to finish it off if he can get the time. Mistake's going to come down. Bebe's going to come down. He's going to have to get away from it though. Acceleration gate was well aware of it and just hammers Mistake away. Get the heck off me. So Shy may well take that top turret. It means they've double stacked on that top. You can see as well. Lilballz is coming around, trying to take down the wall. CloudTemplar though immediately coming up. So Azubu Frost starting to stack up here, trying to force the problem, trying to push the pace here. This is what they've got to do.
And Azubu Frost really trying to just get the pressure going. They know they're down in kills, but their entire composition is around fast-pushing turrets. It's now on TPA to try to counter that. They did send 4 members up, so Toyz pushing really hard on the mid-turret, already taken half of it. Down bottom lane, they're harassing Shy heavily on top of the turret. They don't want to lose too many, so this game doesn't get pulled back.
RapidStar might get caught. He's had to back away. He was trying to push on that mid lane. Also picking up the Wraiths as well, but he just backs off. Bebe, meanwhile, continuing to farm out this bottom lane, picking up as much CS as he can. 115 to 92, 148 to 110.
And really, Azubu Frost all grouping up now. They've kind of abandoned the lane. They realize they have to make their poke composition happen now because they're losing the laning phase. 3 members mid right away trying to push down this next turret. Lulu, Lux, Graves all trying to go, but look at Toyz repelling them with that blue buff, fast clearing the ways. It's going to be hard for them to execute their poke-on against something as strong as Toyz' Orianna.
CloudTemplar taking down a ward. Immediately, Lilballz heads down south. They realize it's a 3-on-1 situation in the bottom. The Azubu Frost heading south as well. Clear out the golems for Woong there. Woong desperately trying to farm, desperately trying to pick up as much as he can. Stanley's been allowed to free farm down there because Jace has gone down that bottom lane. The top lane. Remember, the bottom turret was almost down, which is why you can see Woong and MadLife down here, but Mistake and Lilballz all waiting, just hoping that they're going to go a little bit too far forward and pick them off.
And they do not know Lilballz is in this turret. He cleared it with the Oracles. They might try to go aggressive on room. Here it comes!
They do, and the cleaver goes in. It's MadLife they tried to go for, but Shyvana immediately responds. Have they got the damage to turn this around? Lilballz pops his ultimate. CloudTemplar taking down very low. That's an Oracle blocked off by MadLife. Superb play there. Woong manages to get Lilballz down. down. That's going to be MadLife going down as well. Mistake has to back out. Really good exchange for Azubu Frost, despite the fact they were completely unaware that he was in there. Oh, Shy's going aggressive. He's going deep on Stanley. He's not going to be able to take him down. Not a chance. Toyz, in the meantime, takes down the mid lane.
And in all that action, the Oracles dropped on Lilballz as well, so that is going to hurt them. Stanley showing he's not at the point where he can deal with Shy quite yet. He's picking up a recurve bow. He's going to try to get that Ionic Spark and just out-duel him. But overall here, Bloodthirster being completed onto Bebe. He's outpacing Woong very heavily. Look at that just in the gold. 5,500 to 4,100 across the 80 carries. And if they get into a duel, that's going to be trouble for Azubu Frost. They need to get these turrets down just so they can globally help their team's gold and make their team comp work.
They need to try and push the action, try and push the pace. But the problem is that RapidStar can't handle that mid lane. And
the Dragon is up once again.
The problem. We're seeing CloudTemplar, Azubu Frost do take down the bottom turret. They've got to be careful though. Lilballz is coming around. They're going to try and close in on Azubu Frost, and they've just spotted CloudTemplar. They have to back off. It was a straight 3-on-3. They probably could have taken the fight though.
This is going to be kind of trouble for TPA. Stanley does not have his ultimate up, and Azubu might try to get around the Dragon. That's why Stanley's coming all the way down from the top lane. They might look to fight here. If they do a fight, look for Stanley to taunt in and then get comboed with an Orianna ult to create. There's so much disengagement and kiting from Azubu Frost. They really have to commit if TPA wants to get a fight here. Oracle's going on Bebe in a bit of trouble.
Bebe going straight aggressive there. Managed to back out though. Had to use it. Actually went aggressive. Arcane shifted in and then flashed out of the fight. But of course, Toyz, if he lands a good shockwave, would be the end of Azubu Frost. He's got the damage. Lilballz, meanwhile, pushing that mid lane, is going to try and come around the side. Taipei Assassin's just looking for a fight, but it's a 4-on-5 fight. Is it one they want?
This could be trouble for Azubu. They're all about being a poke comp. If they corner themselves into the Dragon, they could be in trouble. But Lilballz is not there, and TPA is unable to engage this one. If they go in, it's going to be trouble. Azubu Frost actually out-poking them and taking the Dragon.
Yeah, they tried to manage to steal it with shot barrage. Was not happening. Mistake's got to be careful. He might get caught out here. They're just below. If Azubu Frost turn the direction, Mistake has realized he's completely locked down. Taipei Assassin's maybe trying to pincer on towards Azubu Frost here. Lilballz is backing away, and Azubu Frost all completely just disengaging from this. That was a great bit of poke from Jace there, and that shows the poke potential that Azubu Frost have.
This is a mid-game spike for Azubu Frost. The Bloodthirster coming out on Shy. Those Shock Blast acceleration gates are trucking. They're now trying to get this mid turret down, and they might be able to get it. It's all about TPA trying to wave clear through, but they're just trying to outpoke them. That turret getting to about half health. TPA is going to maybe try to engage this. Lilballz using his ultimate. This is the game Azubu Frost wants to play. They're only 2,000 down in gold here. They were able to pick up some objectives. TPA needs to all be together and at full health in order to engage. It's all on Azubu Frost to not let that fight happen.
Azubu Frost is split out. Woong going down south. He's going to pick up some farm. Bebe picks up the red buff, and the rest of Azubu Frost back off and buy. So happy after that Dragon. Jace may get collapsed on here. The blue buff going to get picked up. They're going to steal that one away. Toyz will take that. He'll be happy for that. That's going to be blue. Oh, tried to get a light bind. He stole it. He stole it. Very nicely played there, and that's RapidStar getting in that light binding, managing to get the damage down. But it is going to be Taipei Assassins taking this top turret.
That is a good counterplay by TPA. They should have realized, though, with that blue steal, that RapidStar had his E, and he could spike it with the Q on top of that blue buff. Really good scouting there. Even with that, though, look at the minion kill difference between Toyz and RapidStar. 196 to 142, 54 more for Toyz. Really just showing how great of an Orianna he is. Going to be able to pick up a blue buff of his own, so they didn't get the steal, but they should still be in control. Everyone on TPA now, fairly good health. Azubu Frost trying to shut down this mid turret early. Really looking for TPA to start a fight here because they do not want to get poked down once again.
You know, something we saw with the advantage that Azubu Frost had over CLG was the fact that we saw Woong constantly just going and taking the red buff. While the rest of the team were keeping them busy, he just strolled in there, took the red buff. Not even seen that at all in this fight. Oh, Lilballz is going to get dived on here. He's going to have to pop his ultimate, Shen ultimate going on. They're going to try and dive, transfer it in. You can see CloudTemplar getting straight in there. The Lulu ultimate pops them up. Absolute Zero goes off. Stanley taking low. Stanley has to back away. CloudTemplar gets dropped by mistake. Can they turn the aggression? No. Shy's going to be targeted. Bebe goes through. Toyz takes down Shy. And now Bebe turns his attention onto Woong. He's managed to get the phase block, but Woong has to flash out of it. Really great engage by Taipei Assassins.
They knew that they hadn't been poked down yet, and they wanted to force a fight from Azubu Frost. Azubu had to fight before they'd gotten their poke off, and you saw how close it was. If they would have had any free advantage, they could have walked away with that, but instead, 2 members fall, close to 4,000 gold advantage, and Taipei Assassins again in the driver's seat, and Luxalt not able to steal the red buff away from Bebe. They might look to fight this one in the jungle.
They may well do. Woong steps a little bit further. He's going to get caught out. They had the ward there. They knew exactly what was coming. And then Bebe instead is going to head down south. Stanley goes top. And the farming goes back. 21 minutes gone. 7-1 advantage for Taipei Assassins. Could they take this 3-1 here in the Season 2 Championships? Down $1 million. 2-1 up currently. You can see it on your screen. And Azubu Frost trying desperately to poke it down. They will take this mid turret down. Toyz cannot defend it. One more shot from Woong will do enough damage, but Bebe responds. Takes down the bottom. 3-3 all square in turrets.
Lots of fast turret pushing as we've seen this whole tournament from these guys. They're very objective based, so a bold strategy coming out here in the 4th game from Azubu with the poke comp. Will it be able to work out? They're now all 5 pushing in, but Toyz poking right back onto Azubu Frost, dodging those skill shots. If one light binding lands, they should be able to combo it into close to a kill and a turret. They have to be very careful. Toyz barely dodging out with that last one. Stanley having to come down, trying to poke on recharge. It's all about, will they be able to get them into an Orianna Ball? They pretty much need a flash. That is Stanley or Lilballz if they want to be able to get the Orianna Ball into them. Other than that, they're going to have to sit and withstand this poke.
As it is, Taipei Assassins just handing off. Man United not available for Stanley, so Azubu Frost trying to take advantage of this and try and force something in their mid lane, but Taipei Assassins, no, with Toyz in there, with Bebe in there, they can clear them waves incredibly quickly. Instead, Azubu Frost trying to pick up that blue buff. It's not available to them, and they're going to have to go and deal with that bottom wave. They can't let it stick. Well, they could let it keep stacking up. Actually, it will clear itself. MadLife taking down that ward. Picking up more wards. And I tell you what, Taipei Assassins are actually pushing Azubu Frost back here. And yeah, they should be the poke comp.
They seem to be fairly ready for this. Stanley's ultimate just coming off cooldown now. 1 more second. There it is. They land a Dark Binding onto Toyz. Here's it comes.
Light Binding on Toyz. Toyz gets dropped very quickly. Shy gets taken down as well. Straight away, CloudTemplar is going to be low. The Taipei Assassins completely reacted to this one. Very nicely done there, and that's CloudTemplar. But despite the fact they took down Toyz in a split second, Azubu Frost again come out 2-1 down.
They made a bit of a mistake of just not continuing the poke and instead trying to go all in off of that Light Binding. In my excitement, I called the wrong spell, but CloudTemplar does seem to be a little bit out of place here on the Shyvana in the poke comp. He's very much an all-in jungler, and he's going in before the poke is ready. Teamfight after teamfight, they are falling behind a little bit here, and that is a huge advantage coming out for Toyz. He's close to his Rabadon's death cap. When he completes that, teamfights are really going to swing in TPA's favor.
234 CS to 150, 159, 160, keeps counting. But honestly, it is a huge, huge difference. And Toyz proving once again he's definitely winning out in that mid lane. You can see it's nearly a 2,000 gold difference. As it is, the AD carries 404 for Bebe, and it has a huge gold difference. You can see it's over 2,000, 2,200 gold advantage. Top lanes, again, Stanley, 1,000 gold difference. Big advantages across the board. What we saw last time at Azubu, they're trying to close on Taipei Assassins, but it's not happening. Taipei Assassins got to be careful they don't get caught out here. Toyz is coming around the side.
Oh, here comes the taunt.
There comes, is the shockwave going to come out? No, instead he pulls the ball on Stanley. Stanley is going to try and come across. CloudTemplar is going to get caught out here. He will go down eventually as Toyz that picks up the kill again. If Woong was exhausted, Taipei Assassins are going to continue diving on this one. Woong with the Lulu ultimate is going to walk away from that. And again they have to, beautiful stuff. Bebe with true shot barrage takes down Woong just as he thought he got away.
TPA consistently getting fights in before the poke can take them down. The last dragon, they got out poked and gave it up. This time they went in hard with the taunt, and they still have their flashes for the next fight. Big advantage and a big potential to force another fight when they get back.
So it's a 7,000 gold difference, 11-2. Taipei Assassins, can they become the champions? Will it be a 4-game quick, clean sweep? But Taipei Assassins reacting after losing the first game. Despite the fact they had the advantage, they couldn't win the team fight. This time around, though, they seem to just close out every advantage they get. Taking the time, of course, it is $1 million game for them, and they have every advantage right now.
And the death cap being completed onto Toyz. You can see a couple of them with chain vests as well. The big thing here is look at the farm distribution on TPA. Everyone who needs it has the kills. 505 to Bebe. He is 2,500 gold ahead of Woong. 313 onto Toyz with that death cap. 2.3 thousand gold ahead of RapidStar. Even Stanley on Shen, very, very farmed. He has 1,000 more gold than Jace, who was the whole reason Azubu Frost gave up Orianna, because they thought they could win that matchup and enable this poke comp. TPA just seems to be ready, seems to be outplaying.
Miscommunication there, double ward, and that shows that Azubu Frost are certainly shaken. MadLife's going to come in, he needs to be careful, he doesn't get caught out here, and you can see immediately the BB jumps on it, Lilballz goes diving in, and they do manage to knock him away. That's MadLife having to use the ultimate on Shy there to keep them back. They're really desperately disengaging. Light binding on Toyz, they're trying to go for Toyz, they're trying to burst him down, they don't have enough damage now though, and this Gen ultimate stand can go for him. Can they manage to catch him out? Toyz is just standing out of the back. Instead, they're going to go towards Shy. Shy's going to get caught. That's going to be 3 shot for us. Bebe managed to get the kill. MadLife also being targeted. MadLife with an Oracle going down. No, they go for Woong. Stanley catches the taunt on Woong. Now they're going to keep diving. Light binding. They might get some kills off this. Lilballz going to go down as well. That's a really good turnaround by Azubu Frost, managing to pick up 2 kills off Taipei Assassin's aggression.
The kite was really strong there from Azubu Frost. They were barely able to disengage, and they really needed that one. If those 2 deaths wouldn't have happened on the dive, they could have easily swept back here and taken the Baron. With all of that, they burned their flashes for that engagement, so it's going to be difficult for them to get the next one. And in all of that, Toyz was never able to get off an ultimate, so you can just see how badly Azubu Frost wants to kite and how hard it is for TPA to actually create action. 6 kills now coming out onto Bebe. He did give up a shutdown there, so about 500 extra gold going over to Azubu Frost roster. 6,000 overall gold advantage here. They will be poking back and forth. Mistake still has that Oracles. Man, Azubu, TPA really so close to victory here. They just have to find the one fight to do it.
4 games in, you guys are still cheering ward kills. I'll give you credit for that. You're keeping it up. And as it is, Azubu Frost. Another one for MadLife. Had to use a lot of gold actually. Did get taken down in the last fight. Oh, he just scrolled past that one. Not caring at all. Azubu Frost desperately regrouping, realizing that they are in a position. They're going to try and 5-man push this mid lane. And Taipei Assassins, well, they can see that Stanley is down the bottom. Stanley United is not available to him, and they're going to keep poking on Toyz. They didn't have the burst though to take him down, and they may catch. They realize Stanley's down there. Have they got the timing on Stanley United? You would assume they realize the exact timing on it, and they may realize this is their chance.
They know that they have a small window, but they're still not the team to hard engage on a TPA. If they do anything, they're going to take this time to try and poke down the mid turret a bit more. But just with how shoved the lane is and how good Toyz is at wave clearing along with Bebe, they're not going to be able to get much happening. And by the time it matters, Stanley's ultimate is going to be up again, and he's going to split push as they have to respawn. And then Stanley's going to be able to just back out or ult out, and he has to do it actually fairly quickly because Azubu Frost is all converging down bottom.
He doesn't have his ultimate available at the moment. It will be available soon. CloudTemplar thought about closing him out, but he could not 1v1 against Stanley, I don't believe. Stanley clearly backs away. Of course, 307 for Stanley. He's been a monster on that shed. And the champ for TPA definitely building here. They are 13-4 up. They have the chance to close out the Season 2 finals. Light binding catches, and again they try and burst down. It was a mistake though they caught, and it wasn't. There's the shockwave, and CloudTemplar's the target. Shy also trying to get picked off. Bebe's trying to do the damage in the back one. Taipei Assassins disengaged from this one. They realize that Azubu Frost have that poke, and they just back off. Nobody going down, but a lot of ultimate burn.
Toyz actually holding on to his shockwave so they can still initiate with that. The problem though is Mistake got quite low. You can see actually everyone on TPA trying to build a bit of resistance so they can't get picked out. They're double Aegis Legion coming out by Stanley Lilballz. Even Toyz has that Athene's Unholy Grail and Chain Vest. They're all trying to make sure that they can't get bursted out. Interestingly enough, the only guy who doesn't have that is Mistake, and he's the one who almost got bursted there. With that Zeke's Herald, he has the health to withstand it, and they have the team fight ability. Seems like TPA is waiting for either Stanley or Lilballz' flash to be up, because if they can just land one flash taunt on top of a shockwave, that'll turn it. They can take Baron, they can take turrets off that. Azubu Frost barely hanging on in this game. It's just a matter of whether or not TPA can force a fight.
TPA called something here. Shen is coming down, so Stanley's going for this. They want to really force him to be aggressive on this blue. And Azubu Frost bullied out of that one, although we can see he's just keeping it in there, tried to steal it. with the ultimate, but was not going to get it. And it's actually Lilballz that ended up using his smite to get that, to secure the blue. We are seeing CloudTemplar heading south. Got to be careful he doesn't show himself, and Taipei Assassins could turn that into a Baron.
And they might just try to poke around Baron here. One thing you can do against a team that doesn't want to fight you is just run straight to Baron and make them come at you. They were just clearing out wards there. They're not quite at that point, and we saw in the second game of this series, they waited for quite a while before they made their Baron play. They wanted to hit certain item thresholds. For this one, it might be a Guardian Angel on Toyz or Last Whisper onto Bebe, just for the point where they really feel they can roll through these fights. They have quite a big lead now, but it doesn't seem like quite enough for them to get extremely ballsy and aggressive. Let's just see how they end this, if they can make it.
Lilballz has been the one that's been pushing himself in front of everything, trying to take the burst of damage, of course, as you would expect on Mundo. And it's going to be Taipei Assassins picking up the Dragon Arrow. Azubu Frost going to try and react. They're going towards Baron. They're not going to be able to pick it up, though. They just clear out the ward.
They might be trying.
They're poking it.
Last-ditch effort.
No, they're going to have to peel away from this one. Stanley coming in behind them. They caught them out here in a pincer move. Is it going to be enough? Stanley, Mistake's getting caught down. Mistake's going to get burst down. That's an Oracle down. And now Woong going to come in this one. Lilballz is trying to push the pressure. Stanley ultimate coming on Toyz. If we can pan the camera down, we might be able to catch
Shockwave!
it. Shockwave gaps on towards MadLife and RapidStar. RapidStar gets dropped. 2 shot for Askins across the entire team. CloudTemplar now caught out. CloudTemplar goes out to Lilballz. They continue pushing on, and they quickly disengage. Taipei Assassins could go for what they want. The pinks go down. They're going for Baron.
And here, there's 3 members of Azubu Frost that are still alive. MadLife is too low. He's basing, so it's really on Woong and Shy to get this out. They do have a lot of poke. They can try to get down with Shock Blast and Acceleration Gate, but there's 4 carries alive for TPA right now. The only guy who's dead is Mundo. They might try to harass us, but everyone's fairly healthy. The poke isn't that strong on them. They can peel or they can take Baron. They're just going to take Baron. They have the spine up. They got it.
They got it, and they might get on Woong as well. Stanley just going max range on towards Woong there. He will have the damage, as you can see. Woong desperately trying to kite this one away, but Bebe's on him. He has got the phase proc, and that's going to be Woong going down. And that is surely Taipei Assassin now. Have they got the money in the bank? They are 16-5 up, and they surely smell victory.
With the Baron buff, everyone on the team, over 2,000 gold, they're all going to go back to base. They're going to buy those trademark items. Rand wins Omen, comes out for Lilballz. He picks up a Negatron cloak as well. Guardian Angel finished by Toyz. They're really looking to press. Bebe gets his Last Whisper and a green elixir and a red. They're really looking to end on this push. When everyone goes back to base right after Baron and picks up elixirs, they're just trying for a humongous power spike, and they really want to press this one. One more push, one more big push can get them $1 million.
MadLife tries desperately to clear out those wards, having to pick up yet another Oracle. Red buff going across. Shy's going to pick that up. Do see Mistake taking a little peek around the side there. He's going to stand on a ward. They know he's there. Trying to bait them in. He's out that ward. And he's going to pick up another one. You know he is. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The ward clearance continues till the very end, indeed. 33 minutes here, and Bebe just having a little poke. They've got to be careful they don't get caught out here. Azubu Frost, that's what they're going to want to go for. Taipei Assassins are playing this very deliberately slow here. They've got the Baron buff. They're just clearing all the lanes. Going to shove them all in and slowly pick a lane which one to go for. Because, of course, the Azubu Frost poke comp means they can clear them lanes very quick.
It is extremely hard to push on something like that. Even Lux alone clears waves almost as strongly as Anivia. If they want to create something, they're going to have to flank or they're going to have to split push. And that's why you can see Lilballz and Stanley, top and bot, both trying to push down. Lilballz runs right into CloudTemplar, and CloudTemplar has to run away. Mundo's very strong right now. He's just straight up tanking some turret hits. They'll need to flank or they need to get the side turrets down.
Well, and the rest of the team could easily close around, which it looks like they're doing. CloudTemplar's got to be careful here. The rest of Taipei Assassins are making their way down there. There you can see Bebe immediately arcane shifted straight through. Stanley's still in that top lane, of course. Has got Stan United available if he needs to come down the bottom, which, as you can see, Taipei Assassins forcing the turret. That's going to be another turret down. 4-3. The advantage in turrets now with Taipei Assassins.
And now they're looking to loop around mid, trying to get another turret down. They do land some poke, but with the Baron regen, that poke is just not going to stick. Everyone's healing up so much. They got the mid turret as well. They're just making the rounds here, trying to take out every other turret, trying to get as much gold advantage as possible, making certain that even if they get poked out low, they won't lose team fights.
Yeah, and that's going to be the top turret going down as well. So all inner turrets now for Taipei Assassins. Mistake's just going to tank it up a little bit. Creep wave coming in. No problems. He's going to deal with that one. CloudTemplar can't step close. He just tries to take a peek, but he has to back away. They've got to be careful they don't get caught out by anything here. Trying to poke them. and Shy just doesn't have the damage to drive Taipei Assassins back with that poke, and you can see RapidStar, they're all doing anything they can to try and keep them at bay here.
So the Baron buff still 3/4 done about. They've got a lot of turrets off of this push, but it's very difficult for them to get in here. Stanley still with the Stand United, gonna go try to split push them up a bit, but this push may be at its end. They might not want to just straight up tower dive. They could play this one slowly. After all, there is $1 million on the line. They do not want to over tower dive. They do not want to get too aggressive. At the same time, they are trademark finishers, and they are the ones poking down onto Azubu Frost.
CloudTemplar again taking a chunk of damage. Shy stripped half health off there.
Oh, look at
and
this.
The poke comes on, and look at that. You can see Toyz just keeping them at bay with that ball, keeping the distance on them. And
Turret's going
Lilballz
down.
is tanking it. They're going to get the first inhibitor to it. RapidStar tries to keep them at bay. Woong's got caught. The Lulu ultimate, he does get dropped. True shot barrage from Bebe. The inhibitor's going to go down. Meanwhile, the bottom turret is also going down. You can see Stanley's having a one-on-one with Shy on the turret. He's forced back, but it doesn't matter. Azubu Frost are in all manner of trouble here. Taipei Assassins coming round. They're gonna take the mid turret.
Oh, Chocolate just misses. They just tank these turrets up with Mundo, and we might see a fight here. They're gonna get that second in there.
Taipei Assassins taking another hit here, but that's gonna be Azubu Frost in all manner of trouble. Taipei Assassins, they're gonna go for the next turret. They cannot take it down. Azubu Frost realizes they're fighting to stay in the final. Stanley gets dropped. No, he just got away with it. I don't believe it. Shy taken low. The turret just needs hitting here, but MadLife gets dropped by Bebe. Toyz is in there. They're shredding it down. Bebe trying to do all the damage. They're going to get on the final turret. They're going to take the third inhibitor. Taipei Assassins, will they be the Season 2 champions? They have $1 million up for grabs, and they're going to back away. I didn't believe it. Taipei Assassins, they have to back off. Azubu Frost are all over them. Lifeline, not mistake. He's going to go down. Taipei Assassins cannot finish it just yet, ladies and gentlemen.
So, an amazingly effective push there by TPA. All 3 inhibitors down. That means they're going to have double super minion spawns in all these waves. 6 super minions pushing with the next wave of things. They couldn't finish it because they hadn't arrived yet. Everyone on Azubu Frost trying to heal up. This is the last ditch for them. Can they potentially come back from 3 inhibitors down? We haven't seen that happen since the Season 1 championships in one of the games. It's been forever ago. Everything is sealed for TPA except the Nexus right now. It's just a matter of executing. They have to stay together. If they don't get picked off, if all 5 of them just push together with elixirs and with the 6 super minions, they should be able to finish off those turrets. They just have to wait for Mistake to come up, and they have to ensure this victory. 1 step away.
1 step away. Azubu Frost, the OGN Summer Champions, 2nd place in spring. Will they be 2nd place in Season 2 finals? They were the powerhouse coming into this one, and Taipei Assassins have shocked the world, taking down Moscow 5. Will they take down Azubu Frost? 18-6 up, massive gold advantage, 9-3 in turrets, and they're just getting poked left and right. Woong dodging away from Lilballz there, but there is super minions coming in. They are on the final Nexus turret poke, and Shy is getting dropped already. Bebe ultimate 3-shot barrage going across there, and that's going to be CloudTemplar ultimate across, but he didn't really manage to catch on towards Stanley. There's the Lulu ultimate, but it's not enough. There is no damage coming out from Azubu Frost. Taipei Assassins to do no. A shockwave pulls in CloudTemplar. Bebe picks up a kill on Chase there. Shy goes down. MadLife getting stripped. Oriana picks up another kill. Taipei Assassins are the Season 2 World Champions. They picked up $1 million and the Summoners Cup. They are victorious. What a fantastic sight.
Unreal performance. The backdoor sweep by Taipei Assassins, lost the first one and then took total control, and really across the board for them. Toyz beating RapidStar in every lane. Mistake and Bebe just crushing this entire tournament. They proved not only in their team fighting, not only with their coordination, but individually, they're the best players and the best team in the world.
Absolutely, and you know, 2nd place is not a loss. It is a loss 3-1, but you still get $250,000. But $1 million goes to Taipei Assassins. You can see it on their faces, what a feeling it is. There you guys are on the screens. What a fantastic crowd you've been here in the Galen Center. And honestly, you know, Taipei Assassins came into this one, they went 1-0 down, but they came back 3 games back-to-back, shredded them. Toyz in that middle was phenomenal. Bebe down the bottom, he was amazing. Stanley held his ground against Shide, something nobody in this tournament's been able to do.
And it was just such an amazing performance this entire tournament, coming in with no one expecting them to do much, and they took down the cream of the crop. Najin's Sword looked unstoppable at a group stage. 2-0. Moscow 5 was the favorites coming into the tournament. Lost the first one, crushed them twice in a row after that. Lose the first one against the champions of Korea, and then take 3 games in a row. Stanley, Toyz, Bebe, the whole gang, Erica, the manager, the subs, Colin, and XABC, everyone on Taipei Assassins part of this victory. Great job by everyone. Well-earned Season 2 champions. Cannot believe what we just saw.
And there they are. Look how happy they are, and why would you not be? You know, they moved into their gaming house 2 months ago, and what a difference it's made for those guys. The whole of Taipei Assassins, just, you know, there's a big crew of them. They've got the manager, they've got that gym regime, they've got that training regime. It is all come together perfectly for them. And, you know, we heard about Scara, we heard Hotshot talking about how the North American scene, they have to adapt this process. They have to start taking things seriously because the Asian teams have come here and really proven their mettle. 2 fantastic performances from Taipei Assassins and Azubu Frost, it has to be said. They were really great throughout this tournament. But 21-6 does not lie. 11-3 in turrets. They really drove them on. Absolutely amazing stuff. Taipei Assassins, the world champions.
And we thought maybe there was going to be a letdown after taking down Moscow 5, thinking they'd made it just by getting to the finals, but they realized there was still $750,000 extra dollars to be won. You can tell they prepared. They had the right practice regimen. They had the right mindset. They showed they could bounce back from losses. They've shown they can switch up their strategies. They did laning. They did hard initiate. They did AoE team comps. And Toyz can play Orianna. Let's say that one more time.
Do not give him Orianna. What, I mean, but then again, Karthus and Anivia, he outfarmed whatever champion he stole. And really, you know, proved his mettle. You know, we talked about how he had that 1v1 with Mac Noon, got proved that he was not the best in the world, but I think he's just proven that maybe he is the best in the world in the mid.
And it's hard to argue now because they are going to be the ones with their names on the Champion Cup. They are the Season 2 champions, and it wasn't an individual effort by any of them. All of them played incredibly. And even Mistake is the shot caller for them as a support, so their team synergy and communication, so many of those ganks came down at multiple places at once. You could tell everything was so well rehearsed for them, and they were so comfortable on seemingly anything they played. They give up Ezreal. The Vayne came out of nowhere. The Caitlyn came out of nowhere. It wasn't just a big 380 carries from them. They could pick from all of them. Toyz, extremely versatile. Lilballz' Mundo was just unreal, and sure, I'm just lauding compliments onto all of them. But why not? They just beat the world.
Yeah, and you know, it just shows the pressure that these guys in. If you looked at the semi-finals, you saw the matches against Moscow 5. We saw Alex Ich making mistakes. We saw Diamond Prox making mistakes. These are people that we've not been used to seeing make mistakes. So the pressure, the situation that all of these teams have been under throughout this entire tournament has been huge. And honestly, just the relief has probably been just let out by Taipei Assassins there, picking it up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is D-Man and Jat signing off for the day, but I mean, you guys, it's been such an honor to cast this match. It has been fantastic performance from both teams, 2 completely aggressive teams. We are just minutes away from the presentation of the Summoners Cup, but first, let's take a look back at the awesome matches we've had during the Season 2 World Championships.
Azubu Frost goes 3-0 in the group stage. They go into the base. Everyone's in. Lead the game. What an absolute epic finish. Nice. Super minions are already on the other side. Trying to stop that path to the championship, and Azubu Frost will knock out Team Solo Mid. All in. Is it going to be a blind? He's called my news. He's called my news. Moscow 5 wiping him out. And another ace for Moscow 5. Looks like they do take TP on his victory side. Dive onto a Felix goes down. That's going to be Rice. Lilballz tanks it up enough, but I think Messiah should be able to get it. Oh my god! Snoopy flashes through. I do not believe he just pulled that off.
It is going to finally end. The game is over. CLG moves on.
Minions coming up the mid lane. This could well be the end.
That's an ace.
That's the triple goal. That's the ace. That is the game. Azubu Frost are in the finals.
Now this is where the finals will take place. Toyz not really catching him there. Huge damage coming out from Alexis. Will he flash over for the kill?
Diamond Prax goes down. The inhibitor is open. The double kill comes out. Moscow 5 looking very grim right now. Taipei Assassins look to take down the last Nexus turret, and they will drop Moscow 5 from the League of Legends Championship playoffs. Lilballz makes it! Gets the quarter kill! He gets the quarter kill!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your League of Legends Season 2 World Champions, the Taipei Assassins! And now to present the Summoner's Cup, it's my pleasure to introduce the co-founders of Riot Games, Mark Merrill and Brandon Beck.
Thank you, Wheat. We started with the 12 best League of Legends teams from around the world, and it's only fitting that tonight these two fantastic teams gave us such well-played, hard-fought match to end it all. For the Taipei Assassins, this victory caps off an incredible season in the Garena Premier League and clearly reflects their hard work, persistence, and dedication.
Guys, we're honored that so many awesome League of Legends esports fans here and around the world had the chance to witness their triumph. Guys, your energy, the energy in this room and the energy all over has been electric. It pushes these teams to their best. So we're grateful for all of your support tonight during the playoffs and throughout the season. So please join us in congratulating your Season 2 World Champions, the Taipei Assassins! All right, guys. Thank you very much. These dudes, I just want to add one more word.
These guys, against all the odds, right? All the odds, they just showed up tonight.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time, I'm DJ Wheat, and on behalf of Jack, D-Man, Freak, Rivington III, Rachel, Redbeard, Mark, Brandon, the entire crew, and our phenomenal pro players, thank you for watching the Season 2 World Championships, and we will see you in Season 3. Good night.